The New York Jets select Sauce Gardner.
Sauce Gardner is a New York Jet!
Swaggy Sauce Gardner.
I love Sauce. I love his tape. I love his press technique. I love his confidence. He has everything you want to see in the position. And I think Robert Saleh in this scheme is perfect. It's a hand-in-glove fit for him, man.
Garrett Wilson.
It's Garrett Wilson! The New York Jets have just got two big-time playmakers!
I believe that Garrett Wilson is going to be the most impactful rookie receiver in this class. And I think we see Zach Wilson play like he did the last 6 games of the year, times 10, and have a phenomenal second season.
Wow, you think? Yeah! Yeah! Let's Jermaine Johnson!
Brees Hall, running back, Iowa State.
Brees Hall, oh my God, they got him! They went offense. They went with the best running back in the draft. Jeremy Rucker, oh my God! The Long Island native is a New York Jet!
J-E-T-S, Jet.
Let's go!
Yo, what is going on, Jets Nation? Welcome back to Jets Media, and today we are joined by Jack, and we're going to be breaking down the game yesterday and talk about what went wrong. Unfortunately, Jack, it's no Victory Monday, obviously. You'd like to prefer it be a Victory Monday, but instead, it's the complete opposite, and it is a Monday where we will be breaking down this game yesterday and talking about all the stuff that's been going on since the game was all wrapped up, the press conferences, the Twitter, this, and that. Listen, guys, we're all going to break it down here, and it's going to be a good show. So buckle up, hit that like button on your way in, and, of course, we appreciate all the support here on Jets Media. Jack, how you doing today, my friend?
Yeah, pretty horrible. Not going to lie. It's I haven't stopped thinking about it and since it ended yesterday. I paced around my living room for a good hour afterwards, just, like, angrily breathing and just making noises and cursing. And it's definitely a tough one, man. It is probably the toughest loss I can remember in a long, long time. But that means that we're, playing good football overall. When a loss like this stings so bad, it's because it was for first place in the division. So we got to remember the season that we still have ahead of us. But yeah, dude, I mean, this one's going to sting for a while.
Oh yeah, this is going to sting for a while. And the thing about this, Jack, and we talked about it already, but when you become a winning team, like, by the way, the Jets are at 6-4, and that's when these losses like this hurts more, because it's not like previous years when we suck and we lose to the Patriots, and it's like, oh, here we go again. But this time it felt different just because we're 6-3. We have a chance to get the first place. We have a chance to get the monkey off our back. We have a chance to really make a statement. And then we knew going in. I mean, if you watch the channel leading up to the game, what did I say over and over and over again? This is Zach Wilson's time to prove whether or not he's got it or not. And obviously, he did not prove that he's got it yesterday in his borderline worst performance. I mean, you can say yesterday was a worse performance than his previous game to the Patriots, even though he threw no interceptions, because, like, what he did in that game was just nothing positive. To have 2 yards of offense in the second half is just abysmal. So overall, man, as a Jets fan base, we are heartbroken, and we are totally allowed to feel this way. We feel deflated. We feel like totally negative right now. We feel toxic, and that's what's going to happen when you're a passionate fan base like us. When we get a taste of victory, we beat the Buffalo Bills. We're fresh off our bye week. We have 2 weeks to prepare for the Patriots, and then we lose in fashion in a heartbreaking way where the defense plays their absolute hearts out all game long. 3-3 tie game. We're thinking we're going to overtime. Instead, it's a punt return for a touchdown, which was the first punt return of a touchdown in the entire NFL to cause the Jets to lose this game. But Jack, I will say this before we get deeper into the game and breaking down all the negatives that happened yesterday, more importantly, Zach Wilson. The one thing I like about this team so far throughout the season is they've shown the ability to handle adversity and be able to resolve these issues. You know, we had a deflating loss against the Patriots where Zach Wilson stunk it up, and they go out there and beat the Buffalo Bills the next week. So there's still 7 games to go. And there's a lot of cleaning up to do. Obviously, I'm not saying that there's not. And obviously, we have a quarterback situation that needs to be talked about. But at the end of the day, I got confidence in this Jets team to really figure things out. I know that there's some issues in the locker room that's being reported from Connor Hughes. We're going to break that all down. But I really feel like this is on Robert Saleh and his coaching ability to really making sure that everyone is in this together. And I got excited. I'm excited to see how they all bounce back. Ordana says, I have no faith in Zach to bounce back from this. Listen, Zach has a lot of cleaning up to do, not only his performance on the field, but especially how he handles himself in the media. You know, I've made the title of this video, Zach Wilson took no accountability after his loss, and that is being exploded all over the place, rightfully so. Connor Hughes, or I forgot who asked him the question. I think it was Connor. You know, do you and your offense, you know, take any of the blame for the loss after the defense played their hearts out? He said no. Absolutely. He said no. And that's just not what you say. You know, you heard Josh Allen after the Jets beat him. He took full accountability, and he was the reason why the Bills lost that game. Yesterday was the big reason why Zach Wilson lost the game. And it's, you know, he's going to turn the fan base against him, and he's going to turn his own teammates against him if he continues to have that type of mindset. And obviously he has a long way to go if he wants to prove to be the guy for the future for this team, which right now doesn't look so good.
Absolutely, man. And I'll keep it real, man. I'm pissed off at Zach Wilson. And me and you have been supporting Zach Wilson since day one. But, you know, you got to call it like you see it. And as I've said before on previous streams, this is a very tough league to evaluate players because, you know, especially coming out off of a bye week. So it's 2 weeks since we've seen Zach Wilson play. And he goes and has probably the worst game of his career, like you said, without the picks. But he also had 2 dropped picks that should have been gimmies for the Patriots. So awful performance. But you got to call it like you see it, man. And it's a tough league to evaluate because you got to, you know, we have this game and then we got to wait, you know, now for the Chicago Bears. It's not like watching the Mets where, you know, they drop one, you go, all right, maybe they can pick it back up tomorrow night, you know? No, we're coming off of a bye. We waited 2 weeks to watch a shitty performance. And now this is just a sour taste that's left in everyone's mouth until we got the Chicago Bears next week at home, which, you know, felt like a gimme a few weeks back. And now the Bears, you know, Justin Fields looks phenomenal. Zach Wilson looks like shit. And, you know, I all of a sudden don't feel like it's a gimme. I feel like we have to go out there and play rock solid football. I still think we can win the game, but Zach Wilson coming off of a performance like this gives me absolutely no confidence, man. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Missing Mims in the flat, like I said, 2 gimme interceptions that were somehow dropped by the Patriots. The New England Patriots were giving us every single opportunity to make a statement and win that game yesterday. And we just couldn't do it because of Zach Wilson, but because of Mike LaFleur, because of the atrocious performance by the offensive line. Dan Feeney, you know, I mean, give me a break.
You just can't get
man.
A break on the offensive line with injuries, dude. Nate
brutal.
Herbig is a star, and then he's down. And talking about the Bears real quick, I don't know if you know this, Jack, but Justin Fields is actually injured. So he might not even be playing in that game. And also, the Bears are like one of the worst defenses in the league. They're 3-8. So talking about Zach Wilson bouncing back, if he has a bad performance against the Bears, then it's even a bigger conversation to have because the New England Patriots defense was unbelievable yesterday. And who else was unbelievable? The New York Jets defense. That was just a defensive gauntlet. It was one of those games. It was windy, and you go head in there, and it's a defensive nightmare on both sides. And you know, obviously, the Patriots defense played better than the Jets defense because we had no positive yards at all, it seemed like. But at the end of the day, if you just quickly want to talk about the Chicago Bears game, if Justin Fields is banged up and we're versing a backup quarterback, Zach Wilson, whether Justin Fields is playing or not, Zach Wilson, if he does not have a good game against that crappy defense, he needs to absolutely step up in order for that to happen. And I frankly have confidence in this Jets coaching staff and in this Jets team to battle adversity because feels very similar in a different way from 2 weeks ago when we were on Monday talking about the Jets and the Patriots game after Zach Wilson stunk it up. We said the defense balled out. We said the offense around Zach was actually not that bad. But The special teams disappointed us, but the reason why we lost was because of Zach Wilson. Well, here we are today. Fast forward 2 weeks. We lost against the Patriots, not because of our defense, not because of our special teams minus one play. And at the end of the day, bro, we punted 11 times. I mean, it was a matter of time until the Patriots is going to make a play. Can't even blame them for that. Because they should not have been in that situation to begin with. And here we are again, blaming Zach Wilson for not beating the Patriots. He was the reason why they lost. So it's really going to be interesting to see how this Jets team bounces back after this one, because not only is this loss hurting this Jets' chances to make the playoffs, but it's also a character loss to the point where how is this team going to bounce back, and how are they going to really, really, turn their season around? Because the season's not over, still 7 games left. And I know that there's a lot of, issues that needs to be resolved, but the defense is far from an issue. And you have a defense like that, you can win a lot of games. But let's get into the sponsor of the video, guys. Unfortunately, this is not a positive one because Mojo has the Jets crumbling. And as you guys know, Mojo is a stock market for sports, and it's only offensive playmakers. So therefore, since it's only the offensive playmakers, I think you guys can guess that every single player on the Jets offense is trending down on the market. Now, in my opinion, there are some players here that I'd invest in when they're trending down. Zach Wilson is not the one I'm going to say, but a guy like Garrett Wilson who's trending down, that's someone I invest in low, because no matter who the quarterback is in the future, I have confidence in Garrett Wilson being an absolute stud for the New York Jets. Elijah Moore, he actually got targeted. Wow, 2 catches. Excellent stuff. Elijah's back. Nope. He went down a little bit on the market as well. Tyler Conklin, he's down. And the 2 running backs that got no positive gains in that game against the Patriots, they're both trending down as well. So if you guys want to scan the code on the screen right now, the QR code to download Mojo, or simply clicking the link down below in the description, it would help out the channel a ton if you guys can help me out just by simply downloading Mojo and going on there today, because Mojo is an interesting app because it really gives you a good understanding of who's doing well and who's doing bad around the league. And obviously, coming off a performance that the Jets had offensively yesterday, everyone's going to be down. And if you still believe in some of these players, which I'm not expecting anybody to believe in Zach Wilson right now at $29.68, which is one of the cheapest quarterbacks on the market, by the way. But there are guys that I think that you could invest in and make some money on the long run, like a Garrett Wilson, and like a Michael Carter. I think Carter at $6.02 is a steal. And also, by the way, you can bet on players to fall and make some money. So, hey, if you really think Zach Wilson's going to continue to plummet, bet on him to fall. Or if you are still a Zach Wilson believer, say you think Zach Wilson's going to bounce back and just take sail off the next 7 games, put your money where your mouth is. Download the app and invest in Zach Wilson at $29.68. So as you guys know, Mojo is available in New Jersey to trade today, but they are coming to New York very soon. They are coming to other states. And just because you're not in New Jersey does not mean you should not download the app today, because they got a lot of fun stuff all across the Mojo app. And I appreciate everybody for helping out the channel, for downloading the app. If you guys do download Mojo, please do me a favor. Let me know in the live chat so I can give you a shout out if you simply just download Mojo. So again, shout out to Mojo for sponsoring today's video. Lordana with a $10 donation. How are you doing, man? I appreciate that. The only problem I have with LaFleur's play calling was the fact that he tried a pass play on almost every first down, knowing Zach Wilson couldn't get anything going. Run the damn ball. Now, listen, I understand where you're coming from. For sure. But the one thing I will say to this is the offense, when they're winning, they succeed on passing on 1st and 10 a lot. And the run game wasn't going. And they were trying to establish a run game, Jack, like two weeks ago when Mike LaFleur abandoned the run and he only ran 15 times. Instead, this time he kept trying to go to the run, but the players weren't executing and the play calling wasn't obviously good. So what's your thoughts about Lordana's super chat here?
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of problems with the game that Mike LaFleur called yesterday. I didn't really have a big issue with trying to pass the ball on 1st down. My issue was the consistent runs in between the tackles on like 2nd and 10, 2nd and 8 that were consistently going nowhere. And I understand if Zach throws an incompletion on 1st down, you don't want to necessarily pass the ball immediately after that again. And, maybe something worse than an incompletion happens. But I just think the stagnant, flat offense we saw through the air and on the ground yesterday obviously we got to put it on Zach Wilson, but on Mike LaFleur as well, man. I mean, what happened to? Obviously, we want Zach Wilson to be able to pass from a clean pocket and stuff like that, but no very minimal play action, very minimal bootleg stuff like that. I mean, the tight ends don't seem to be a factor at all on this team, which is ridiculous. Yeah, Elijah Moore got a couple catches, but it feels like Zach Wilson, all he does is drop back, looks to see whether or not Garrett Wilson is open, and then either takes a sack or runs for a few yards, And when in the beginning of the game, I was hyped. I'm like, yeah, go pick up those yards with your legs. But the fact of the matter is, Zach Wilson played like shit, and Mike LaFleur did not put him in a good position pretty much at any point in the game. And yes, obviously it comes down to Zach missing open throws, but I think Mike LaFleur had one of the worst games we've seen him as a play caller yesterday.
Yeah,
just pathetic.
It was
pathetic
bad on
offense on all
it was
phases.
Bad
the
offense,
offensive line,
the play calling,
quarterback.
Yeah. And I also want to give Mike LaFleur some benefit of the doubt, because I do feel like if I'm going to point blame at somebody, whether it's Zach Wilson or LaFleur, I'm going to blame Zach Wilson just a little more, because after watching some of the film, there are a lot of throws that Zach Wilson just did not make that Mike LaFleur schemed wide open. I mean, 3rd and 1 in the 4th quarter, when the Jets had that defensive holding penalty that helped them out to get the first down, they get a nice run up the middle from Michael Carter, I believe, to get to 2nd and 2, and then they get to 3rd and 1, and then it was that play where he throws it to the flat to Michael Carter. That wasn't the design play, right? You watch that play back. Elijah Moore's wide open on a drag route for 2 yards for the first down, and Zach Wilson doesn't hit him. So there's a lot of examples where Zach Wilson's not reading the field right, and you're wondering, is that Mike LaFleur not coaching up Zach, or is that Zach just not executing the play calling? And obviously we'll never know the answer to that. But Mike LaFleur deserves criticism, and Zach Wilson deserves criticism, and the entire offense around him deserves criticism as well, because, Denzel Mims drops a crucial pass early on in the game. The offensive line, I mean, it's so hard to blame the offensive line just because when you put into account the injuries that we're suffering. I mean, the star of the O-line has been Nate Herbig, and he's down, and we have to play freaking Dan Feeney. It's ridiculous.
Sucked,
the injuries that we have to handle. And I'm not making an excuse right now, but it's just a reality of how trash the offense is with this type of offensive line. And when you cannot run the ball, we are a limited team. But I do want to give credit, because there's a lot of negative to talk about, Jack, but we have to talk about some positive, because it's not just a positive. It's a gigantic positive, because this would not have been a game if it was not for our Jets defense. And Jets fans need to start appreciating this defense more. Absolutely, we should be harping on the offense. Absolutely, we should be criticizing Zach Wilson, and that is 100% okay, just like Jack and I started off the show. But at the same time, we need to start putting some more respect on the Jets defense. Not saying we haven't been, but their performance yesterday was off the charts. They were not perfect. They were missing some tackles. They were giving up some explosive plays. But every time where they would make a bad play on defense, they would step up and make a big-time sack. Step up, make a big-time tackle for loss. Quinnen Williams with his 8th sack of the season, which is a career high. Carl Lawson dominated. Sauce Gardner with the big-time play. The defense did everything they did. So I just got to give them credit, because I know that this is a stream that's all about crapping on the Jets offense, but I feel like they deserved some credit, man, because without that defense, this would have been a blowout.
Absolutely, man. They do deserve a lot of the credit, 100%. Obviously, the negative aspects were the missed tackles. Again, bad 3rd down defense overall. But being able to get in the backfield as consistently as we did,
6 sacks.
and force 3rd and longs pretty consistently, is the reason why it was so close until it wasn't. Obviously, this defense is a top defense in the NFL, man. I really
and that is also why I have a lot of confidence.
I
really do have a lot of confidence in this team bouncing back, because what this defense has proven to us is that every single game is winnable. Every single game is winnable. And you also, and I hate that I have to say this, but you have to give some respect to the Patriots defense, because they're not a bad defense, guys, heading into this game. They were lights out. They were one of the best defenses, actually the best scoring defense in the NFL heading into this game. That's not an excuse for the performance of our offense, but we also have to realize the Patriots defense is next level. I mean, their scheme is ridiculous, and they got the better of our offense. So if the Jets, for example, go up against a team like the Bears, where the Bears defense is trash and our defense is next level, there's no excuse for the Jets to lose that game. I don't care if Justin Fields plays or not. If the Jets defense plays at their standards, the Jets should be able to be winning every game, because all we need is mediocre quarterback play, Jack, and we would have beat the Patriots both times. And the fact is, we have a quarterback who is still young and is still making boneheaded mistakes and is completely regressing beyond comprehension, to the point where we're not even expecting him to take any significant improvements if he cannot simply do the simple stuff that a quarterback should do, is reading the defense. And how many times have I talked about Zach Wilson in a way where he has all the physical gifts? What's going to make or break his career in the NFL is up here. Can he scan defenses? Can he make the right throws? Can he make the right decisions? And yesterday, that's where it all came from. He just was inside of his head, not reading the defenses right, completely fundamentals was off, missing easy throws all over the place, and he's sloppy. So I always said I'm not going to crown Zach Wilson as the franchise quarterback until he proves it, but I'm also not going to absolutely write him off yet. But at the end of the day, it's hard to keep saying that, because the product that we saw yesterday is proof that he might not be the answer at the Jets quarterback position. And he has 7 more games to prove it, because if he doesn't prove it in the next 7 games or so, then there's going to be a really interesting conversation to have.
Yeah, and the only reason why I'm not completely out at this point is because I still think you're out of your mind if you want Joe Flacco or Mike White to come in and start at the quarterback position. We got to give Zach the rest of this year at the very minimum, and I think they will, for sure. But you got to call it like you see it, and the performance that we witnessed yesterday was atrocious, man. And I don't know if you can really coach up accuracy that much, can you? Is Zach Wilson just going to be able to wake up one day and hit every easy throw?
I think
I don't know, because how many passes did we see sailed yesterday? Mims wide open in the flat over the top. It was an attempted pass to Tyler Conklin. You said it might have been tipped. Whatever, man. That was a give me for McCourty. Thank God he dropped it. Obviously, we lost the game anyway. But just inexcusable throw after inexcusable throw from Zach Wilson yesterday. And I don't know what it's going to take to fix it. I don't know what can happen between now and the end of the year where he's just going to wake up and be better, because he has to be better everywhere. He doesn't look like he can read a defense. Like I said, it looks like he drops back to pass, and if Garrett Wilson's open, he throws it to Garrett Wilson, and if he's not open, he either takes a sack or he runs with it, or maybe he'll check it down to the flat. But maybe half the time it feels like he'll miss that check down. You can't miss a check down on a consistent basis. It's not like it's just, 1 or 2. It felt like I didn't feel confident when the ball left his hands a single time yesterday. Not one time did I feel confident when the ball left his hands. And that's a huge problem, man. And I'm not going to say, oh, I'm out on Zach. He's got to go. We got to get Mike White in there. We got to get Joe Flacco in there. Absolutely not. I'm riding with Zach until the end of this year. Whatever Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh want to do moving forward, I will support. Go back and check the receipts, guys. I was not on the team Zach Wilson in the whole draft process. I didn't want to draft Zach Wilson, but from the moment we drafted him, he's been the guy for me. And I'll still support him through the end of this year for sure, because what the hell else are we going to do, man? We're still 6-4, and we have a season of football ahead of us. But right now it feels like the quarterback position is holding us back. And how wild is that? We did not know that this defense was going to go from worst to first in the blink of an eye, and that, we have these offensive playmakers like Garrett Wilson, like Elijah Moore. Obviously, Breece Hall went down with an injury, but he was on the path to Offensive Rookie of the Year. Elijah Barrett-Tucker, we have these pieces, man. And it feels like right now the quarterback position is the one thing holding us back, and maybe a bit of the play calling as well in there. Inconsistencies on special teams, but right now the main factor is the quarterback is holding us back, and there's no way out right now. They're not going to put in Mike White. They're not going to put in Joe Flacco. The only thing they're going to possibly do is ride out with Zach Wilson until the end of the year. So we just have to hope for the best, man. There's no way out besides hoping for the best and hoping that this kid can show us something and just win games and get us into the freaking playoffs, please.
Ayub says, Zach is elite. Resign now. Well, we appreciate that, man. We need some type of positivity. on Zach Wilson. But Jack, I could not agree with you more on everything you said there. To be honest, man. And when it comes to the whole notion of a quarterback change, everyone gets mad at me when I say, guys, Mike White's not entering the game. Joe Flacco's not entering the game. They get mad at me. The reason why I'm saying it because I know exactly how this coaching staff and the general manager is thinking, and they're not doing it. When Robert Saleh was asked about a quarterback change after the game, what did he say? That's the furthest thing from his mind right now is a quarterback change. And I know the fans are sick of it, and the fans are over it, and they want Mike White. But like at the end of the day, when you invest a second overall pick in a quarterback, you're not going to quickly just pull him out and just say, that's it, we're done. They're going to give him the rest of the season. Now, it's a different conversation to have is if the next 7 games, Zach plays all of them healthy and he stinks it up in all 7. That's a different conversation. But the Jets as a coaching staff and the Jets as a regime, they're not going to be quickly to pull the plug on his year 2 quarterback as much as the fans are. Now, I get it. This team would be playing. Now, listen, Zach Wilson, what is he, 5-2 now? You can say they could be 7-0 if he's playing mediocre quarterback. I get all that. But I'm just speaking in the perspective of the Jets regime. And like Jack said, I trust Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas than anybody else. I trust them more than myself. I trust them than any fan. I'm believing in a Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh mindset. So the fact that everyone is thinking that they can, put on Mike White, put on Joe Flacco, I get it.
God.
But like the reason why I am against that is because the coaching staff is against that. And whatever the coaching staff believes, I'm going to fall behind. And that's another thing that Jets fans need to be very comfortable with. Now, listen, we've been in quarterback purgatory for my entire life, your entire life, right?
Yep.
Forever. And this is the first time where we have a quarterback issue, but the team is not the issue. It's just the quarterback. Now, that's a positive, right? That is a positive. And you could talk about Geno and Sam Darnold and reasons why they sucked was because the team around them. Well, this is a different problem. The team is good around Zach, and he's still stinking. So that is a very interesting problem to have. But at the end of the day, we are very lucky to have Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh. They are proving to be the right men in charge. And now you can blame Joe Douglas because he drafted Zach Wilson all you want. But at the end of the day, Joe Douglas is doing everything he possibly can to acquire depth, and I believe in them. And I believe in those two to get the ship right because they've proved that they can turn a young organization into a winner. And don't discredit that Buffalo Bills game all of a sudden. I know that's 2 weeks ago, but the Jets went out there and they beat the Buffalo Bills and made Josh Allen look like trash. And Josh Allen, we all know, is not a trash quarterback. He might have some flaws that the Jets exploited, but don't forget that. That's not me harping on the past. That happened this season. That happened the last game the Jets played. And the Jets have proven that if they can play within the structure of the offense and Zach can play mistake-free football, which is he did not do yesterday, they could be a winner. So that's really my thoughts. And I think Jets fans should take a deep breath and know that we have the right people in charge. And the biggest issue right here is the quarterback. And obviously, that's the most important position in sports. It's the most important positions in football. You're not winning anything without a good quarterback. But at the end of the day, whatever the Robert Saleh coach Jets believe, and he thinks that riding out with Zach Wilson for the rest of the year is good for the long term of the season, I'm believing that. And if you don't want to believe in the coaches in the front office, that's on you.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And also, any Bills fans in the chat, pretty pedestrian game from Josh Allen yesterday. I saw the Tyler Bass show going down yesterday. Tyler Bass responsible for 19 of those 31 points. So I am praying on the downfall of the rest of the division and praying that Zach Wilson can turn it on. Because I'm lost, guys. I'm lost. Like I said, it's the quarterback. It's not just an easy fix right now with the quarterback position. It's the most important position in sports. It's probably the hardest position in sports. And they're not a dime a dozen like some other positions are in the NFL. So we're just, like you said, man, quarterback purgatory. All we can do at this point is hope that the division stays as tight as it is right now. Hope that we can make the leap. We got the Buffalo Bills again. I want that game. We got to handle business. And like you said, dude, if we get, I think the fantasies of Zach Wilson, having a Justin Herbert type second year is gone, right? So if we can just get some mediocre quarterback play for the rest of the season with this defense playing at the level that they're playing at, I think we can 100% still make that playoff push. But the
Now,
quarterback
I do
play
wanna
needs to
say,
be there.
when you talk about like a Justin Herbert style leap, obviously Zach Wilson has been playing shit, but he also, and this is not an excuse, this is just the reality of it, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the future because the Jets have played top tier defenses in the past couple of weeks, right? The Patriots, the Bills, the Patriots again, those are all elite defenses. And now the big question is when he goes up against and you can even bring in the Green Bay Packers. I know they're not playing well this year, but the defense is not the issue. Their passing defense is elite. The Denver Broncos, we had to verse that defense. That team's not good, but that defense is elite. So the Zach Wilson and the Jets offense had to go up against top tier defenses in a gauntlet, and they came out of that with a winning record. Now I'm very curious to see, is the offense still going to struggle against a crappy defense? Is the issue that we don't match up well against good defenses, or is the issue that our quarterback and our offense is that trash, right? So that's why I'm excited for this Sunday, Jack, because we're going up against a Chicago Bears team that's 3-8, that has a great offense with Justin Fields, but a crappy defense. So is Zach Wilson going to have a big game Sunday? I can't say that with confidence, but it'll be the first time this season where we're going up against a team that's bottom 5 defensively. So that's where I'm curious to see, can he match up and slice apart a defense like Tua did against the Bears, for example, right? Can Zach Wilson do that? Because he simply cannot play well against elite defenses.
He's got to have the game of his life against the Chicago Bears, man. I mean, it's at that point now where he's got to turn it on immediately. And it's a tough thing to wrap your head around, man, because at the end of the day, it's a second year player that we're asking the world from, you know. But he's got to be better. He's got to be better.
And the funny thing is, we don't need him to be elite on Sunday. We need him to play good football, and we win the game. Like mediocre football, average quarterback play, and that's all we need. That's great.
We also need that is crazy, and we also need the offensive line to get back to business after that
hopefully
abysmal.
Max Mitchell can return, and hopefully Nate Herbig is okay. We got LDT. Maybe he'll be the right guard.
After that abysmal performance yesterday, we need something to get back on track. So even if it's the offensive line and the run game next
Corey
week,
Davis could be coming back too.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's the offense and the offensive line and the run game next week, whatever, man. Let's just get back on track. Let's beat a team that we should beat at MetLife Stadium. Go to 7-4. And damn, man, it just feels like, after seeing an L like this where the offense had every single opportunity to get it done and they just couldn't, it feels like the end of the world. Coming off of a bye week,
It does. Also for playoff implications, we don't have the tiebreaker against the Patriots. We don't have the tiebreaker against the Bengals. Luckily, the Chargers lost last night. It's huge for the Jets. Even though if the Chargers even won, the Jets still wouldn't have been in the playoff race right now, but playoffs don't start right now. So I'm talking about 7 games left. The Jets have to have a better record than the Patriots. They have to have a better record than the Bengals, because if they have the same record as those two teams, they get the tiebreaker. So say the Jets are 10-7, and so are the Bengals, and so are the Patriots. Jets are out of the playoffs. So that's going to sting a lot, is the tiebreakers. So Jets fans, screw the Bengals for the rest of the season and screw the Patriots, of course. But listen, man, at the end of the day, I know some people in the chat are waiting for the link to join to talk some ball. I know Fresh is waiting. He's chomping at the bit to get in here. And we're going to get you guys in just a bit. Don't you guys worry. I definitely want to hear from the fans, because they have all the right in the world to come on here and rant and scream and shout and let it all out about what the hell we saw yesterday from this Jets team. And talking about accountability real quick, obviously what Zach Wilson said rubbed the entire fan base the wrong way. It rubbed the whole NFL world the wrong way. Even not even Jets fans, even just people seeing that, like, you can't say that. And then you see on the other side of the coin, Justin Hardy, who was the special teams captain. He took all the blame for that punt return. I'm the captain of the special teams. I take the blame. I'm going to do everything I can to get better. I'm going to go in the film room. I'm going to blah, 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 blah. Even Braden Mann took accountability. I mean, bro, This guy, Braden Mann, this guy, like, was that the most active game of his life? How many times did he punt? We had more punts than completions.
I know.
For God's sakes. So at the end of the day, bro, Zach Wilson has a lot more work to do on the field than he does off the field. Like, he needs to go into the locker room and he needs to go talk to his team and have a speech or something and say, listen, guys, I apologize. The heat of the moment. I know that I have to play better and this offense has to play better because you boys, talking to the defense, is playing championship level defense and we're not. And if you read into the question was, do you feel like the offense let the defense down? It wasn't more or less, do you feel like you let the team down? It was more of an offensive question. He's the quarterback of the offense, so he should have said, yes, as an offense, we let this defense down, whatever words you want to use. But obviously now the entire fan base, if not the entire fan base, but majority of the fan base, that is something that will turn you against him, because it's different if his performance happened yesterday, Jack, and then he took accountability. Instead, he didn't. So that rubs everyone the wrong way, right?
Absolutely, man. And I hope you're right, man. I hope he gets in that locker room and, you know, talks to the entire team, the coaches, and just, you know, makes it clear that he knows he is holding this team back and he knows that he needs to get better, and that he needs to do it fast. Because it comes down to the quarterback position, and right now it's just not up to par. When you have a defense that's playing as good as we are currently playing defense, and although it was shit yesterday, a pretty consistently good running attack, you got to grow up faster than normal. You know, that's just the sad reality. We're asking a lot of Zach Wilson, but it's justified when you're the second overall pick and the rest of your team is playing at literally a championship level, or at least your defense is playing at a championship level. You gotta grow up fast, and we haven't seen that. And the fact that he at least hasn't taken accountability for his poor play, it sucks, man. It really stings. And you know, he's got to. I don't think he's a huge fan of the media, as probably all players are not.
I think that's another thing, man. He was like in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
And like watching that press conference, he's just listening and like, it's like, oh, I have to talk to this media after that performance.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, no. He's just like barely even listening. And that's not an excuse, right? You want to see your quarterback be able to handle the media, but he's just sick of it. He doesn't want to handle it, and he needs to learn from it, because guess what? It sucks, but the New York media is 10 times the lights are brighter. And when you lose, you have to be able to take it. And when you win, you have to be able to take it. And he's not really handling the losses well. Like, for example, Saleh, his conferences after losses, you know, he holds himself accountable. He says the offense played like dog shit. Like, that's literally what he said. So Zach was in the heat of the moment, and you say some wrong things when you're so pissed off. You don't think you're not clearly headed right now. Like, after a loss like that, after playing the way you played, after being heartbroken, 10 minutes later, you're being pressed by the media, being asked all these questions, and you say the wrong things. So it's up to him to clean that up. And if he doesn't clean that up in the locker room and the next press conference, that's a bigger issue. But he definitely has a chance to win back a lot of people by simply holding himself accountable and apologizing or whatever he needs to do. I don't know what the hell he needs to do. But at the end of the day, people need to realize when you're in the heat of the moment and you're pissed off after a loss like that and you're being asked a bunch of questions, it's not easy to say the right things all the time.
Absolutely. And the only people that he should be, you know, apologizing to, and I don't even want to use the word apologize, you know, like he just needs to take accountability, but not to the fans or to any members of the media, strictly the people that he goes to war with on Sundays, you know, the people, his teammates, his coaches, you know, that's where the change needs to happen. But as fans, you know, no, Zach Wilson owes us nothing besides, you know, playing better, but he doesn't need to come out and say, oh, I'm sorry for not, you know, for not holding myself accountable and for yada 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 for the comments. No. He can keep all that shit within the locker room, as good organizations do. But he right now he's the glaring hole. He's the glaring issue. He's more of a problem than he is a solution right now. So it's got to change, and it's got to change fast. And there's no easy way out. He's just got to flat out play better. And you know, is that going to happen? Who knows, man? But he's got a lot to work on. It almost feels like he's got to go back to the drawing board when you see him not be able to read a defense, and he doesn't ever look like he looks at more than one receiver in the pocket unless the play is already broken down and he's outside of the pocket. Then he scans the field a little bit. Obviously, he doesn't make a good decision most of the time, it seems like, as well. But it looks like he can't, you know, go through more than one read from the pocket. It's like I said, it's Garrett Wilson, check down.
Did you by any chance hear Garrett Wilson's comments after the game?
I did. I didn't hear the whole video because I got to be honest with you guys. I didn't look at my phone from about 4 o'clock to like maybe 5:30, 6 o'clock yesterday, that much at all. I was just like, I played Lego Star Wars, guys. Like, I was like, I just needed something to get my mind off of football. Like I said, I was pacing around my living room for a long time, hopped on some Lego Star Wars, wasn't looking at my phone much, but I did do a little catching up. But I got to be honest with you guys, man. I didn't see much post-game coverage yesterday just because I was physically feeling sick to my stomach.
The reason why I bring up Garrett Wilson is because I love his press conference, just because he has a sense of passion to him where you can feel like it's totally unacceptable. He was saying, you know, we're way too good for this. This offense is playing sorry. The passing offense is not playing well, and he's holding the entire offense accountable. And another thing about Garrett Wilson, I just love the passion and the fiery attitude that he has, that, you know, he's like being a leader, right? He's kind of like, as a rookie, being able to step in charge and say the stuff that he said and make total sense, and calling out his entire team about what went wrong. I love that from him. I absolutely love that. And I also love that he said that, and this is what I mean. He said, like, I think we need to start putting more trust in the wide receiver room because we can make some plays. And I think what he means by that is throw it up to us. Like, go put us in situations to make plays. And I was watching that Sunday night game last night, which is a phenomenal football game, by the way. And all I see is Herbert and Mahomes just chuck the ball up to their receivers to make plays. Now, obviously, they're good throws, but I would love to see Zach Wilson just test Garrett Wilson more. Hit him on the outside, even if he's not open. Allow your wide receiver playmakers to go make a play. Throw it up to Denzel Mims. Throw it up to your receivers. Make the wide receivers get paid to make plays. And I feel like that's what Garrett Wilson's point was, where they're not really heavily involved in the offensive scheme. And maybe that's the reason why Elijah Moore wanted out, where he feels like he's like an afterthought of the scheme, where it's more of the running, it's more of the tight ends, it's more of just wide receivers blocking and barely any wide receiver drills, barely any wide receiver movements. And I heard from Garrett Wilson saying, like, we need to put more trust in the wide receiver room because we are ballers, we are talented, and we can make some plays to help this team win. And I couldn't agree more with him because it's true. When do you see Zach Wilson throwing up a 50-50 ball to Garrett? Or, like, when do you see him trusting the receiver, right? Like, I would like to see
him throwing a 50-50 ball to Ty Johnson, though.
Yeah, you know what play that was that I noticed right when I saw it? That was the same exact play that we had against the Dolphins when Breece Hall was the running back and he got free for that 79-yard completion down to one.
On that wheel route.
That was that wheel route. And obviously, Ty Johnson's not Breece Hall. And also, the Patriots defense played way better defense than the Dolphins because that was just a broken coverage from the Dolphins defense where Breece Hall got escaped and he was wide open. But yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, yep, that was the same play call. And it's just, Ty Johnson was, I mean, you can't blame the play call there, just bad execution.
No, you can't. But I feel like you can maybe blame the choice of personnel.
Yeah, a little too much.
Why is Ty Johnson running that route and not, you know, Carter or Robinson at least? You know, I mean, I don't like that. I think that's a real risky play in general, throwing it up to a running back one-on-one with a DB. But obviously we saw it work previously. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really thrilled with that play in general, but especially if Ty Johnson is going to be the guy, just a terrible. That play gave me nightmares amongst many other plays from yesterday, obviously, but that's one where a tweet was sent out right away. You know, certain plays.
Also on 3rd and 3 when we are in the shotgun formation and we hand it off to Ty Johnson and he gets a loss.
Oh my God. And I mean, how many delayed handoffs did we see in between the tackles yesterday where it just looked like shit? Like it looked like shit, dude. Like like you couldn't have made it any easier for the Pats defense to just absolutely swallow that. There was no sort of fake anything. Like it just like
and there was also no
snap
push.
the ball. Yeah, there was no push on the offensive line, no sort of fake from Zach Wilson. It was snap the ball, wait a second, and hand it to Carter or Robinson or Ty Johnson in that case on third down, in a critical spot in the field for no gain or a loss of yards. So, I mean, the entire offense, players and coaching staff just had the worst possible performance you could have had yesterday. And we can't label the weather as a factor. Bullshit. It was just a horrible offensive performance. And like I said, dude, it's with the implications of this within the division and within the playoff race, and with it being against the Patriots, I mean, it's going to sting for a long time.
And
but we
that's
have an
another
opportunity this year to get it back. Like, it's not like the season is over. Like, here we are, a winning team. We're 2 games above 500. We have a winnable game at home coming up. We should go to 3 above 5. And maybe if the Patriots shit the bed,
I mean, their schedule gets really hard. Like, this game for the Patriots' perspective was a must-win for them because of how hard their schedule is. But when you break down this Jets season for the future, right? The Jets have positioned themselves very well, and I know it stinks that we lost Sunday. And I'm not making like it's not, but the way that this Jets defense is playing in comparison to the other teams in the hunt, like the Cincinnati Bengals, like the Buffalo Bills, who are in the wild card race because the Miami Dolphins are in first, like the Patriots and like the Chargers, right? The Patriots have our number. They have the tiebreaker. That stinks. But the way that this defense is playing is so elite to the point where all we need is our run game to get going. And I know that sucks. We want to have a quarterback that can light it up, but we don't have one right now. We don't have a quarterback that any Jets fan can go into a game with confidence saying like, oh my God, he's going to light it up. He's going to be the reason why we win. He needs to be the reason why we don't lose. And that's really what it comes down to. So the Jets defense is going to be the reason why we're going to be able to do it. And also my point was a big narrative that I was pushing leading up to this Patriots game is that the Jets control their own destiny. And they needed to win this game to keep that same mantra. But since they lost, they don't really control their own destiny anymore. Now we have to start rooting for other teams to lose. Now we have to hope that the Cincinnati Bengals shit the bed. Now we have to hope that the Patriots shit the bed. And now we have to start winning. So it's up to the Jets. There's 7 games left. And if the Jets want to make the playoffs, they might have to go 5-2. They might have to go 5-2 if they want to make the playoffs. And that's a tall task. And I feel like we have the defense to get it done. But we're not going to be able to go 5-2 without Zach Wilson, like, taking a significant improvement. And who knows if he will. Who knows?
I know, man. When you put it like that, it feels like the world is ending. Like it's over.
Yeah, like
it's obviously not. But
if we win 10 games, that might not get us into playoffs. Like we can go 10-7 and miss the playoffs very easily.
I know. And of course, the AFC has emerged as the dominant conference. The AFC East is the toughest division within the conference. Here we are. We're gonna have to fight and grind for
first time the Jets
everything.
are good. It's like the odds are against us.
Yeah, it's like the most competitive the AFC has.
And shout out Omar
been.
Richie. I'd rather be watching for other teams to lose than the draft order. Facts, Omar. Jets fans, let's take a second and realize where we came from. I totally understand
100%.
that expectations change throughout the season, and I'm not saying that it like that is a fact. And if the Jets go 10-7 and we miss the playoffs, is that going to hurt, Jack? Yes. Is it going to sting? Yes. But at the same time, if we put ourselves in August and we explain who got hurt for the year, Makai down for the year, all the offensive line injuries, including AVT, Breece Hall for the season, and all the injuries, and the Jets still managed to win 10 games, but they missed the playoffs, I think Jets fans will sign up for that season. But since we're living in it, and since we were 6-3, and since we're in the middle of it, and we see our quarterback playing the way he's playing, that is where things get a little iffy, right?
Absolutely, man. I think you put it perfectly. The fact that we're living in it right now, it's a grind, man, and every game is maximum stress through the roof. But if we look at this season from an outside perspective as a whole, obviously yesterday's game stinks, but this Jets team is gaining respect around the league, from other teams, from analysts. It does feel like the winds are starting to shift in a positive direction overall. And looking at this, what we've experienced so far this year as a whole, with all the injuries that you mentioned, obviously I don't have to go through all of those again. But yeah, it is pretty insane, the turnaround that we have seen this year. Obviously, the key position, the quarterback position, feels like it's dragging us deep underwater right now. And there's no way to sugarcoat that. There's no easy fix for that, at least in the immediate coming 7 remaining games. But yeah, I mean, the fact that we're here where we are is it's an awesome thing, man. So we have a lot of football ahead of us. We got to
man.
We got to win.
Jets fans need to remember where we came from. Like, we can't be on cloud 9 all the time and expecting the world and this miraculous season. I know that every season is different. Anything can happen. But the fact is that this Jets team has positioned themselves to have long-term success, but at the same time, that is hindered on the quarterback. And if you don't have a quarterback that is considered a quote-unquote franchise quarterback that can win games, then that's where it gets all iffy. And that's really what it comes down to. So, guys, if you're enjoying the show, please do me a favor. Smash that like button, guys. I know that we got 211 people watching. I know it's a mixture of Jets fans and other fans across the NFL. So even if you're not a Jets fan, or if you are a Jets fan, I'll greatly appreciate it if you simply just hit that like button, guys. We're going to open this up to a Jets Q&A, so you guys can come on here, voice your frustration with me and Jack, and just let it all out. I know Jack has to go in a bit. So we're going to be, listen.
Yeah, I could probably hang for a caller.
Yeah, we're going to open this up for a caller now, so you guys can come on here and let it all out. Let it all out. Don't hold back. Be reasonable, and we're going to get through the chat. So, guys, let's get to 100 likes, please. 73 likes with 200 people watching. Everybody hit that like button for your boy as we prepare to take in callers. All right, so I just pinned to top of the chat. So, oh wait, I got to pin it first. All right, now it's pinned. So, if you guys want to come on here and talk to Jack and I and voice your frustrations, let's do it, man. Also, some AFC East Roundtable news for anybody that is here from that channel. The episode will be tomorrow night, since Thanksgiving is this week and Thanksgiving Eve is Wednesday night. We know that a bunch of you guys get a little rowdy on Thanksgiving Eve on Wednesday. So we're going to do the show a day early. We're going to do it on Tuesday night. Just a little update. So we got people lined up. We got Jets Unleashed.
Man, how you guys doing today?
You know what? Life is just so good right now, Jets Unleashed. I've never been more happy, right? Me and you both, man. Did you see that that video that Master at Work made of us?
Yeah, it sucks. I knew it was coming, man. Yeah, I knew it was coming after. I like I said, I told him, hey, man, go after us, man, if we lose this. And you know what? We deserve it, man. I mean, it's the offense, but the offensive side deserves it. The defense, they did everything they could, man. They actually helped us on special teams. They on those 2 missed field goals. They pushed the Patriots offense back to make it harder, and it helped us on that. So it's just frustrating because we all want Zach to be the guy, and he's showing that he isn't the guy. And so at this point, when you go into this, keep going into these games, if Zach continues to do this, at what point do you just say, you just pull him and say, bring in Mike White?
Yeah, Jack, what's your thoughts of that?
Yeah, I don't think you do that, man. I know a lot of people are calling for that. Richie and I were at the Mike White game against the Bengals last year. I love Mike White, but I don't want to see Mike White in there starting over Zach Wilson. Me personally, I think you got to ride out the rest of the year with Zach. I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for that, but you don't take somebody second overall and pull the plug when it starts to go bad. Obviously, we need to see a lot more out of Zach Wilson. There's no excuses for the game he played yesterday, but I don't think that's reason to pull him out, because what are we going to do? We're going to put in Mike White or we're going to put in Joe Flacco. Who knows if either of them is going to be more effective than Zach Wilson. My bet would be no.
Yeah, I agree, Jack. And the way I look at it, Jets Unleashed, is this. Zach Wilson has not looked good this year, but he's also proved that we can win with him. He's 5-2 as a starter. And the fact is that he has proved that there are some games that he can be a game manager and play mistake-free football to help us win. And he's 5-2 as a starter. You can't take that away from him. I know that he's not the reason why we're winning those games. He did have that fourth quarter comeback against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But you ride it out with him, because it would be a different conversation if he came back from injury and the Jets are 2-5 with him. And right now we're losing and we're like trash and all those things. So Zach Wilson is 5-2, which is a big reason why the Jets coaching staff has confidence in him to be able to battle that adversity. And by the way, those two losses are against the same exact team. For whatever reason, Zach Wilson and the Jets can't compete against the Patriots.
Right. But the Patriots have shown a blueprint of how to beat the Jets now. All you gotta do is stop the run, and we're in trouble. We're stuck. Zach has been just, there's no excuse. I know like if he plays bad against the Pats, I understand, but he can't even do screens. At one point, if the guy can't throw to you, he keeps overthrowing the guy in the screen. How are you supposed? How can you go with him?
If he goes out there against the Bears and he has a similar performance and he's just missing screens and he's throwing balls over people's heads and he did what he did yesterday against the Bears, then yeah, of course, then it's going to be a bigger conversation to have with the coaching staff. But based on what I'm hearing from Robert Saleh and based on what I'm hearing from this Jets coaching staff and regime, whenever I hear them speak to the media, and what I'm hearing is that that's the furthest thing from their mind, because they got to be able to back up their quarterback. Because if Saleh came out there and said, yeah, we were considering benching Zach, like, yeah, you want to, light a fire underneath your quarterback, but you also don't want your own quarterback to lose confidence in himself. So I think that, the Jets are smart with the way they're handling this, and they got a lot of work to do. And Zach Wilson has a lot of work to do. So Jets Unleashed, I appreciate the call. We're going to get to the next one, my friend. And I'll see you tomorrow night on the AFC's Roundtable, my guy. I appreciate the love, man.
I see you guys tomorrow night. It's gonna be interesting one that we'll release. So
not gonna be fun.
All right, man.
Appreciate you always, brother. Thank you, dude.
Man, if you guys did not see the AFC East Roundtable, Master at Work put up a receipts video, and that guy right there, Jets Unleashed, was a big part of it because he had a lot of fun things to say last week, and of course, I was a big part of it too because
of course
I was hyped up for that game. And I said some things, and it came back to beat me.
You did, but we also beat the Bills and headed into a bye week, so we're chilling.
Do you need a blueprint to beat the Jets? Yeah, you do, because the Patriots are the only team to beat the Jets in the last 7 games. Pedro, by the way, and they have the blueprint. Seems like the other 5 teams don't.
Yeah.
In terms of the Zach Wilson quarterback-led Jets. Right.
Belichick has had that blueprint on file for 20 years now. So I think, yeah.
And that's my point. Like, they have the blueprint, and they're the only team that's beat the Jets so far with Zach. And hopefully they continue to be the only team, right?
Yeah, man, for sure. I'm going to head out, though. We got Fresh.
Right. We got Fresh in the house. Jack, we're gonna let you get out of here, my man.
I gotta hang for Fresh. Now that you put him on the screen and he's my boy, I gotta hang for Fresh.
Jack, you gotta stay for me, man. How you guys doing?
I'm staying for you, man.
What's up, Fresh?
I'm blessed, man. I don't even know where to start. I know you gotta go, man. But
nah, dude, do your thing, man. Do your thing.
First I'm gonna start off, man. Hats off to the most outstanding defense I've ever seen in my life in an NFL game. you can expect a defense that to me, there's maybe 6 plays the NFL team come into a game that's different, but then they got to go back to what they are and what they truly are. The Patriots went back to what they truly were and couldn't get past the 50-yard line. That is, and with the competent quarterback, their quarterback was complete. Dude, he was actually, if we had one of his passes completed over on the Jets team, we would have won that game. Just one Mac Jones pass. Zach, if he did one of those passes, dude, just to read, Mac Jones basically, if my one read is not there, he had a slant route right there, 3 yards, beating someone every time, whether it was Devontae Parker, if someone was there for a 3-yard slant route that was maybe going to go 7. Every time. That's what you do to a quarterback that's thinking too much at the snap of the ball. So I'm going to go with that. Zach's comment was basically not, I'm not to blame for it. He was basically saying, like, no, my team is not going to say it's me, which they all will say. If it was the defense fault that they lost the game, I'm pretty sure the defense would basically say, no, I don't think it was on. Of course, I mean, no, our defense will be more humble. You get it? And that's what it goes back to. I don't think Zach is understanding, like, you are the franchise quarterback. You have millions of little fans that's 9 years old, 10 years old, looking up to you as not just an athlete, as a role model. You have to understand that you are not just a quarterback of a team. You are a quarterback of a lot. Dude, you are a role model first. So when taking accountability is the first thing a quarterback has to do. Number one, people talk about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold took accountability knowing that this team was worthless, that this team didn't even attempt to build around my 6'4" prototype gifts that I had. You get what I'm saying? Like, and confidence is one thing you can, this is why the XFL exists now, because the NFL has a certain type of quarterback you have to have. And if it's not that, fuck everyone around them. Forget the team that's obviously ready to win I'm going to say championship now. Dude, you cannot tell me a guy like Mike White's throwing picks to basically trying to create something because he knows Zach's on his heels to take his job right back. That's why Mike White's having went into a game saying, Mike, it's you, baby. Show us what you got. Take your time. Mike White's throwing in the game, and he feels like he has to do the most. So obviously, that's going to happen with the NFL defense breathing on your back. Dude, Mike White's actually really decent, dude. I honestly don't understand where people are coming with what makes a good quarterback to me. To any, like, my question to one of you: what makes a good quarterback?
What makes a good quarterback, Jack?
Yeah, in the NFL.
That's you, Jack.
You're able to protect the ball, number one. You're able to obviously advance the ball downfield and score touchdowns. And you obviously have to be a team leader. And obviously Zach Wilson has struggled with all those things. But I think that, Mike White is a backup quarterback for a reason. And like I said, me and Richie were at the Mike White miracle game against the Bengals. I'm still all in on the second overall pick for the rest of this. Obviously, he's. We gotta be. We're these type of fans. Exactly. He looked like shit. He looked like shit yesterday, but I don't see a better alternative on this roster right now. I genuinely do not. To me, that's just where I'm at. You have to send. Like I said, I play football at a high level. I had a full scholarship to OSU, and I tore my ACL, so they took the scholarship away from me. So I've been around Curtis Samuel. That's who I was with. He went to we played in Brooklyn together in a high school together, Hall, Rathers Hall. So I played, so I know what it takes. You can on a run. You cannot give a running back 9 carries and expect him to do anything. I need 9 carries in one quarter. I need 9 carries, and dude, that's what has to happen because it goes boom, 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 bust. Boom, boom, and it's no way you're expecting to get anything off of a quarterback that's still not giving. It's like, dude, on a 3rd and 1. It's no way, dude. Tyler Conklin, if that was your first read, lead the boy. He is wide open. If that was your first read, Tyler Conklin went on it was like a shallow out and up. It was amazing. Like, if you was a great quarterback, you put that ball on the back of the end zone, on the outside, what do you call it? The sideline boundary, right there where your tight end, your big tight end can catch that ball or give you a chance, or Elijah Moore right in your face. But it goes down to he doesn't trust Elijah. So I'd rather go to freaking
Mike Carter freaking 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage because you're not comfortable. Dude, Tua got benched. It's a lot of players. When you bench someone, it's also telling your locker room, we're not putting up with this shit. I need you to bring your A game. You get paid millions of dollars to do something that kids dream, like Rucker. Dream to do. Do you understand how his dad probably feels? Like the first time my son is able to catch a pass from a quarterback on the team, he can't even make a pass. That is outlet. Like why not go to Mike White just to light a fire under Zach ass? Like, dude, everything's been given to you. Your family owns the JetBlue thing, so it's like this was already written for you, kid. You are gonna do this, but please do us a favor and do what you're asked to do. It is not hard, dude. I'm telling you. Talk about Streveler can't do, because Streveler's not a guy that's good. He's a guy that's been on practice squad team. So after that, you have a name in the NFL. They're gonna make sure you keep that type of name. He's a practice squad guy. He will always be a practice squad guy. But that guy, he has what it takes to do whatever it takes to win. I'm gonna hit the check down. I'm gonna make a run. Dude, we've seen that for 4 games in a row with 2 minutes left in every game. It's no way. It is no way you can't, dude. No, the things that Zach is, you can't coach that. The things that Streveler may have problems with, you can teach. Mike White, you can teach. You cannot teach inconsistent and trust in your teammates and in your receivers. Like Garrett said, he wasn't talking to Noah. He was talking to Zach Wilson. Trust us. Trust and believe that Elijah Moore will make that 31 catch, give his body up because 2 linebackers are breathing on his neck. That doesn't matter. Throw that ball, dude. Let it rip. That's what he meant on that. So it's too much. And like I said, I'm going to let you go on that, man. But that was just, I couldn't believe that game because to a point, I understand certain teams. It's about sales. It's like they don't care about winning. They want to win in their style because that's going to keep them their job. They don't want to win in the way that needs to be done. And that's wrong. That's where teams go wrong. You need to, if you literally are winning now, why not just bench Zach for, who said you can't go back to him? What is that going to do? What is that going to do to him?
Well, I feel where you're coming from, Fresh, but the fact of the matter is that we're still in a position to make the playoffs if we win games, and Zach Wilson is 5-2 as the starter, and you can't bring in a quarterback who's coming in completely cold, like Mike White or Streveler, who I can't even believe people are mentioning as an option.
You're on the NFL team. You're ready to go. Just like I said, next man up. What is anybody else?
Not at the quarterback position, man. Not at the quarterback
I've seen Jets football from Bryce Petty. I've seen every snap from a quarterback. I promise you to God, I've never missed a game since literally 2007. Literally every game. I stream every game. I've never. And you can what talent the off the platform that's coming with this generation. Every quarterback can make an off platform. That's just like the league changes. Every defense is gonna always win. So your offense always have to be a step ahead. You cannot have a quarterback that you have to You have to guide along with the nature of the NFL. You can't do that. You have to have.
This is what I'll say, Fresh. This is what I'll say, Fresh. I think that if Zach Wilson against a shitty Bears team in terms of a defense, if he goes out there and plays it the way he did against the Patriots, then yes, this is a conversation to have. But I'm still giving Zach Wilson another chance to go up against the Bears to prove himself, because he also did against the Patriots last time. He looked absolutely trash, and he goes out there against the Buffalo Bills. He didn't light it up, but he did make the right throws, and he was a reason why the Jets won that game. So I'm not saying that he's the franchise guy. I'm not defending Zach. He looked utterly trash, and he has a lot of things to work on. But I'm also going to give him a chance to learn from his mistakes and have the next 7 games. But if he stinks it up against the Bears and he looks at the way he did yesterday, then this is a conversation that we have to have 110%. And I know where you're coming from, Fresh. You're frustrated. You've seen all the Jets quarterbacks like myself, and Zach Wilson's not getting the job done. And when you have a talented team like we do have around the quarterback, this conversation has to be had. So I appreciate your call, Fresh. I love the passion that you got. I love the football knowledge that you come from, my man. And I just appreciate your call, bro.
Definitely, guys. You guys have a blessed day, and you have a blessed day.
You too, my man. Have a good one, all right? Awesome stuff there. And this is the type of call-ins I'm expecting, man. Bring that passion, bring that fire, bro. Jets fans are frustrated. Let it all out.
Amen, dude. And, I understand where everyone's coming from, but the fact of the matter is that I don't see Mike White or Joe Flacco as a better option on this roster right now to come in and have a chance at winning the game. I really don't. But with that, I'm going to let you get to that super chat. I'm going to head out. Everybody have a wonderful day.
Jack, we
try to
appreciate
get some.
You.
I appreciate you, my man. I appreciate all you guys in the chat. And yeah, let's try to, build off of this, I guess. I don't know. This feels like shit.
Appreciate
this
you,
feels
bro.
like shit no
later.
matter how you slice it. All right, guys. Take care.
Peace out, man.
Peace.
All right, we got a super chat, and then we're going to get into the next callers, guys. Thank you, everybody backstage that's being patient. We're going to get through all the callers for sure. We have a lot of Jets fans that wants to tune in. Zach has consistently played to the level of mid-tier backup quarterback. I'm all in on at least seeing what White can do for a game. There's evidence out there. I can't sit through another season of this. Yeah, Chris, I appreciate where you're coming from, and I also appreciate the $10 donation, my friend. Listen, man, like I said, if Zach Wilson goes out there against the Chicago Bears, that is a bottom defense in the NFL, then this is a conversation I'm willing to have. But I'm not going to bench him right away and bench him for this upcoming game just because of that performance against the Patriots. But at the end of the day, this is a conversation that we need to have because there's no defending Zach Wilson. There's no any positives you can take away from that game yesterday. And if he does not clean up his mistakes, not only on the field, but off the field, then this is going to be an issue to talk about for the rest of the season, no doubt about it. All right, we got Ness next. Ness, thank you for waiting patiently, my man. How you doing, bro?
I'm all right, man. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing all right, not celebrating Victory Monday as like I wish, but
just had to wake up, man. I had to lay down, man. I turned the phone off. I couldn't watch no sports, none of that, man.
Yeah, screw that.
That won't hurt too much, man.
It does, but man.
You can see it in it. He don't have it, man. He don't have it.
Yeah.
I recall when we got Sammy D. I live in Ohio now. I'm from Jersey. I live in Ohio now. Flew my pop out here to go see Sammy D's first game Monday night in Detroit. Man, and that first ball, he threw that interception. The stadium's going crazy. I'm like, oh man, did I make a mistake? I flew my pop out here. But then you sat there and watched him on the sideline because we were sitting right behind the bench, and you just see him, man, how he was like, I'm gonna get. You can see it in his face, like he was gonna get through this. And I think we blew him out. I think the final score we 40-something to 17, man.
Yeah.
And it's like Jack said, they never, or Fresh said rather, they never built around him. Like, this guy has all the pieces, and I mean, that one with Barrios, he threw the Barrios in the flat. That one, when I seen him do, like Barrios was what, 5'8", 5'9"? He threw it to him like he was 7'2" or something, man. It was just like, oh my God. Like,
no, it's true. And you look at, if you want to compare Sam and Zach, Sam had no help.
Yeah.
Zach has all the help. And the big excuse we had for Sam was there's no supporting cast around him. How do you expect Sam to do that? And if you look at the numbers comparing Sam, and I was a Sam Darnold truther, and I learned from my mistake, Ness. I was crowning Sam Darnold the franchise quarterback the moment we drafted him. And when we drafted Zach, I said he has to prove to be the franchise quarterback before he gets any recognition from me that he's the franchise guy. And the reality is the Jets have done a phenomenal job to build around him, personnel-wise around Zach, and he's not stepping up to literally, they're asking from Zach Wilson the bare minimum of being a mediocre quarterback to win.
Yeah.
And he can't even do that right now.
Yeah, they could. I mean, when they handed it off, what was it, second and third down? I forget what drive it was towards the end of the game. They handed it off on third down. It's like they lost all faith in him. And then Jack is sitting there talking about you can't bench him right now. It's not about him. It's about the team. You don't want to lose. The coaches don't want to lose respect from the players if they're just giving this guys the key to the ship, and he's just, just driving recklessly out here.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to have to turn these keys over, sit them down. Like Fresh said, you got to sit them down sometimes. You got to sit them down. And maybe he needs to sit down and watch for a minute. Watch Flacco, somebody, anybody.
And that could be a humbling
I'd rather see you out there, Richie. Yesterday, I would rather seen you out there. You could do, what do you do, 2 yards? 2 yards of offense? You could do that, Richie.
Hey, dude, I got the pocket awareness. I know when the pressure's coming. I got that spatial awareness.
Dude, I won't be mad if you scramble for 2 yards. Shit, I'll be all right with that.
Man, I understand where you're coming from 100%. But and when it comes to benching Zach Wilson, that's definitely a conversation I'm willing to have. But like, would you bench him for this Sunday? Like, you wouldn't even put up against the Bears? Because the way I look at it is he's 5-2, and the 2 losses are against the same team,
I'm thinking against the Bears, he's thinking about, all right, this guy's in my draft class. He's the talk of the town right now, Justin Fields.
He is.
Last week, I seen him knock a linebacker out. You seen that? He ran the guy over in the end zone, knocked him clean out.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you already hear the calls of, oh, man, we made a mistake. I saw Stephen A. say that today. I felt like I live in Columbus, Ohio. I wanted Justin Fields. I knew what he was about. I seen that guy freaking lose to Clemson in the playoffs. Then the very next year, he comes back and blows them out. That's the type of guy I want. I don't want no guy from Utah, BYU. Like, come on. Seriously? Like, I don't know. I'm ready just to move on, though. I just want to move on.
I feel you, man. Jets fans are growing tired, and there's literally no defending Zach right now. There really isn't. I've been supporting him through the adversity, and when after that game against the Patriots, I'm like, all right, he has this Bills game to prove that he can handle adversity, and he actually did do well. But then he has a whole bye week to prepare against a team that has his number, and he puts out a stinker. And at the end of the day, if he cannot beat the Patriots, and it's not like we asked Zach to do that much. Ness. Did Zach have to do anything, be a Superman yesterday? No. He just had to get past the 50 or the 40-yard line and get a freaking field goal to win us the game, and he couldn't do that, bro. So, Ness, I appreciate the call. I appreciate
you, man. Keep doing your thing, man.
I appreciate that, bro. Have a good rest of your day, all right?
Later. You too, man.
Thank you. All right, guys, we got a lot of people in the chat waiting to go. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you for being patient. We got a lot of callers to get through. So, again, guys, I know some people are like, come on, get to me, Richie, but we're going through by the order you guys come in. There's a line, and I'm excited to get to all you guys. Omar, stay optimistic Jets fan. What up, Omar? Are you the Omar I've been highlighting in the chat? Are you the same Omar? Great. I think you're muted. Or your mic is off. Can't hear you. No problem. Take your time. Omar's been in the chat. As you could tell, we need Omar right now. Omar, I need to hear from you, my man. I need to hear from you. The fan base needs to hear from you.
Here we go.
There you are.
I had to switch it to this mic. I don't know why I did that.
All good, man. How you doing, Omar?
Oh, man. Like a lot of people, I'm feeling, the waves of the season. And I just want to say, first of all, thanks, Richie, for taking my call, having this place where we all can talk. I know a lot of people are going to be negative on Zach. And rightfully so. You can call me a Zach apologist, but I've been a Jets fan for a long time. I'm probably older than you, Rich. I think I am older than you.
24.
I went to the Jets. Oh yeah, I'm older than you. I went to the last Jets home game, I think, which was against Jacksonville, way back when, I think in '98. So with my dad, it was freezing that day. I mean, freezing in the Meadowlands. So I mean, I've been around for a while. I've seen a lot of bad temes. Shout out to all the fans that support you, Richie, as well. So I came in here basically right after Jake's show. That was a disaster, man. That was a train wreck, man. Oh my gosh. People are just killing Zach today. And I just think that I'll just say this because I know you got a lot of people. We got to keep believing in the team. I like the optimism, Richie. I understand you're frustrated with Zach. I get that. But I do like the overall outlook that you presented today. And Jack, too. Jack is right. I know some of the fans in the chat don't want to hear it, but we got to stick with Zach. Salah has said it time and time again. This young team, they're going to make mistakes. They're going to do things. Maybe we didn't think we were going to be this good on defense. Okay. We all thought we were going to be at 4 wins right now. Come on, guys. Dude. Like I said in the chat, I'm glad. Yeah, after the game, I was pissed off, but then I started thinking, wait a minute. We need Cincinnati to lose and we need LA to lose. LA lost. So we're still there. We're going to be, in that thing that says in the hunt. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be playing meaningful football games. So yesterday sucked, but like I said, we got to keep the big picture alive. We're 6-4. Shout out to the last guy too for saying Bryce Petty. Damn, I almost forgot about that. Those are some times you want to forget about. Bryce Petty from Baylor, man. You want to forget about that. I think the last thing I'll say is that I'm looking at Trevor Lawrence's record, right? Trevor Lawrence's career record here. Let's see. His career record right now is I think it's I just had it right here. It's less than Zach's record. 6-21. 6-21. Zach is currently 8-12. Mac Jones 14-10 in the season, 14-11 if you count that playoff loss where they got the doors blown out by freaking Buffalo over and over and over again. So I mean, when you look at the quarterbacks, Justin Fields has the worst record. Justin Fields has like the worst record. So everyone's saying Justin Fields. Guys, seriously, we're on a winning team. Justin Fields this is a show me league as far as results go. Robert Saleh said that. Right now with Zach Wilson, we're winning. Should we be like undefeated right now? I don't know.
I know. Listen, and I mean he's not the reason why we're winning these games for sure.
Right.
But he is 5-2. So that's why I'm like, okay, and the 2 losses came from the same exact team. So I'm like, okay, give him a chance to beat a crappy Bears team. And if he doesn't beat the Bears team, then that's a conversation we'll have.
So yeah, Zach has lost 2 games, against New England. New England has something that they're doing to him. That something is not
They're
right.
cheating. They're putting something in his water beforehand.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
there's something that's not right in those games. I'm not gonna, again, as a Zach Wilson supporter, a big time supporter, I see the upside in this kid. I believe so much in him and in the process, the whole entire process, what we're doing, drafting Sauce, Jermaine, everybody. You know what I mean? Like I see it, and I know that it feels like, oh, hey, we're wasting these years of talent, guys. It's a young team. Quinn's gonna get the bag next year, and he's gonna keep playing at an elite level, man. So I just think that we have to we got to ride it out and support. Richie, you're gonna get killed in the AFC East roundtable. It's all good. It's all good.
It's part of it, baby. I'm ready for it.
It's all good. It's all good.
Hey, I'm getting killed all over the place, even from our own fans, and it's part of it. And I'm ready for it.
It's a long season, and I will say this: maybe Zach's answers should have been better too at the press conference. I think he was really angry. He had a better interview with Bob LaShuza, but still, I get it. Accountability and all that stuff. People say things. Robert Saleh made a mistake when he said the receipts thing. He instantly regretted it the moment he said it.
Yeah. Even though it's kind of cool that he said that and we're winning.
Yeah, I mean, it became a thing. People are gonna put it on shirts, receipts. I got receipts. Someone dressed up as a receipt at for Halloween. So it is what it is. Again, I'm looking at it like there's 2 ways to look at it. Yeah, yesterday sucked. It really sucks. I effing hate the Patriots, man. I can't tell you how much I hate the Patriots. But the Dolphins too, living in South Florida. I hate the Dolphins were off yesterday, so I was able to watch the game without streaming it. But again, 6-4. No one saw this coming. We had 2 wins last year. 2. What would you prefer? Any Jets fan in the comment section, please. No. At this point, Richie, we were at 2 wins.
You mean at this point? Yeah, you're right. 2 wins at this point. Okay,
and the season was over, and we were looking at tankathon.
Omar, that's why when you had your comment earlier on in the stream, I know expectations change, but we can't forget about where this team came from. We really can't. And I love that we are at this point, and that loss yesterday stings so much where you can't even imagine. But the progress with this team is here, and we all know the current state of this team. And Omar, we needed you to be on here to be optimistic, because a lot of Jets fans are going to be negative, and rightfully so, because we're getting destroyed yesterday by the Patriots in a heartbreaking fashion. I mean, that was the worst loss I've seen in a long time, especially the way we lost. So Omar, I appreciate your optimism.
Season's not over. Thanks, Richie. Season's not over. Thank you, Richie. Go Jets, man. All gas. Let's go.
All gas, baby. Omar, I appreciate the love and I appreciate the support, my man, as always. Thank you, guys. Shout out to Omar. Now, listen, guys, I know there's a lot of people waiting in the chat. We're going to get to all of them. And listen, man, I love you guys. That's all I'm going to say. All right, Jets fans, we've been through it all together. And I know that we all come from different backgrounds in terms of beliefs of this team. And just when you come on here, be respectful and speak your truth. That's all I'm going to say there. Caden is in the chat. We all know Caden. He's been here multiple times. What up, my man?
Not much, but okay. I got to vent a little bit about yesterday's game. I think everybody has had their turn, my turn now. So I wasn't able to watch the game. So I was, of course, following your stream. And also I tracked just the movement on the ESPN score tracker. Just the fact that we couldn't get a first down is just purely infuriating. The defense, yes, they let up some big plays. They did let the Patriots go down the field at certain times. But no matter what, they bounced back and they saved this team from being blown out of the water. The defense couldn't do any more than they did. They did what they were asked to do and really more than that. They saved this team's butt. And this offense had nothing to show for it. If they were semi-competent, we would have won this game. If we could have ran the ball for at least even 3 yards per carry, we got 1 yard per carry, something like that. And if Zach could complete a couple passes, we would not be feeling this way right now. It's just honestly sad to me that the defense was that good and the offense just wasted it. And I honestly look at it as of now, Saleh owes it to the defense to really consider making a change. My plan right now is I think we should stick with Zach for the Chicago game. Start him. If he struggles in the first half, you take him out, you put Mike White in. Maybe it'll create a spark. Will it? If not, okay, you tried and you learned, and you'll got to stick with Zach. But who knows? It couldn't create a spark, and the offense starts moving. And that's honestly
and somebody brought up that even Tua was benched and it worked out. I mean, look where Tua is now. So
yeah,
listen, and if he goes up against the Bears, and Caden, I think we all know that the Bears team are 3-8 and their defense is trash. Justin Fields is playing great football, but the team around him is not good, and they're 3-8. So if Zach Wilson can play well against them, then yes, I agree.
And this is just my take. I think we should have put in Mike White just for like a couple of the last drives yesterday, because we do know that one thing, Mike White is good in the short passing game. He can deliver the ball there. We saw it against Cincinnati, even against Buffalo. He can deliver that stuff, and we weren't stretching the field. So why do you refuse to put White in then? Because I feel like White could have gotten the first down, and he's athletic enough to be able to avoid the rush, unlike Flacco, who's a damn statue in the pocket. I think it could have just given that spark to the offense, and we would have been able to get a couple first downs, even if it was one singular drive and we got a field goal and we wouldn't have had the chance for them to return that punt. It would have,
and that's what it comes down to. Like, I can't even, and it's funny how we don't even bring up the punt, because it's like, we should have been in that situation to begin with. That punt shouldn't even have been a factor. Like, we should have just won the game with the field goal if the quarterback and the offense did not look utterly trash. So, Caden, I'm going to start speeding through these because we have a lot of people waiting. So I appreciate the call. I appreciate seeing you. And unfortunately, we're not celebrating a victory Monday, but hopefully we'll be doing that next week.
Hopefully we can. Hopefully the Zach shows what we know he can do, gets it out of his head. And if not, sadly, we might have to be looking to other options, Richie.
Yeah,
but
and that's definitely a realistic
like
conversation to have.
Saleh owes it to this defense, and the special teams overall did play well until the final play. I think he might owe it to them to be able to really bring them up to a fully winning caliber roster. So,
absolutely.
Right. Peace out, Richie.
I agree, man. Peace out, Caden. Appreciate the call as always. All right, guys. Thank you again for everybody in the backstage waiting. We're going to try to bang through these a little quicker since we can get to everybody. I don't want somebody waiting forever. So just try to limit the calls to like 3 to 4 minutes or so. And yeah, I appreciate all the calls, man. I really do. And guys, do me a favor, hit that like button on your way into the show. Right now, we're doing an open call-in show. So you can come on here and voice your frustrations with this freaking team, baby. Hey, what's up, man? Indiana Jets is in the house. How you doing, bro?
Hey, Richie. How are you, buddy?
You know, not doing great, but now you're here. I'm feeling better.
I have to give you an apology. I was busting your balls a little bit last week on Instagram, and you know,
it's all good, man. It's all part of the fun.
I want to give you 2 reasons why, if you're a supporter of Zach, why he should not play the Bears game. If you believe in Zach, why he shouldn't play. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
For one, his mental capabilities. I don't want him to become the next David Carr. Giving him a minute to rest, reboot, whatever he needs, take some pressure off of him, might give him a chance to come back mentally strong. Okay,
so
and
you're saying before the game, not like during the game.
Yep, before the game. Yep, he just, matter of fact, as of today's practice, you start. I don't care who you start, Zach. You're not gonna play this game, and it's not a permanent thing. It's you're our quarterback, but we need you to reboot for a minute. And that's one reason. Now, if you put another quarterback in, and our offense is still just as stagnant, does that say it's a Zach issue, or does that say it's a LaFleur issue?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a LaFleur issue for sure.
Exactly.
And the funny thing is, whenever we did have backup quarterbacks last year, the offense was very good with backups.
And now we have more talent. So is that did LaFleur change his whole mindset from last year to this year? And he's the one that's dragging Zach down. I'm not a huge supporter of Zach, but I'm not going to put it all on him. I believe that LaFleur is making some really bad decisions.
Yeah.
And you're putting a quarterback who's struggling in bad positions, he's going to struggle more.
Yeah, I agree. And this is a young offense, and Mike LaFleur is a young offensive coordinator, and we had injuries all over the place, and that's no excuses, but it's the reality of the situation that LaFleur's just as much to blame with Zach. They go hand in hand.
And does the relationship between Saleh and LaFleur affect because they're best friends off the field.
Yeah.
Does that affect Saleh coming down on his best friend?
Yeah, I mean, if Robert Saleh wants to keep his job here for the long term, he has to hold his entire coaching staff accountable, no matter what type of relationship they have off the field.
Right. So I think that if they were to bench Zach this week and still continue to tell him, hey, you are our guy, we believe in you. We just need you to reboot, shut the power off, turn it back on, let the whole system reboot again. Take one game. Doesn't matter what happens to the Bears game.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of whether it's a win or lose. It's you just sit the sidelines and don't do any more damage to your mental state right now.
Yeah, because I think that is the biggest issue right here is his mental state. And you see it on the field, man. He looks like a deer in the headlights. And I don't know if this is a Patriots thing, but like that team just knows exactly how to destroy us no matter who the quarterback is at any given point. So I agree with where you're coming from, man, because there's a lot of, history back in the day of, benching quarterbacks and, resetting their mindset and all those things. And he's a young quarterback that's going through it all. And obviously he's getting magnified in the media after his press conference. Not only is it a problem with the Jets fan base and the Jets players, but now it's a national thing where everyone's seeing Zach Wilson not take accountability. And now he's looking at a bad light where people are turning on him in the entire NFL rather than just his own fans. So it's a lot of issues. Indiana Jets, I appreciate meeting you for the first time.
Think of Drew Brees. Just think of Drew Brees for a minute real quick, because Drew Brees got benched early in his career too when he had a couple of bad games. So if we could have Zach Wilson have a Drew Brees type of career from being benched for one game, I'll take it.
I'll take it too, to be honest. Well, Indiana Jets, I appreciate the call. I appreciate
Thanks,
the
man. Take care.
Always, man.
Always put on a great show.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Shout out to Indiana Jets, very loyal subscriber to Jets Media and a big-time Jets fan, as you guys can see. All right, guys. Again, everyone in the chat in the backstage, thank you for your patience. We're going to get through all of you guys. Now we got Murph in the house. What up, Murph? Can you hear me, bro? Testing. Murph. Looks like Murph is not connecting. Murph, can you hear me, man? All right, we're going to get to another caller. Murph, if you can hear me, try to X out and rejoin, and we'll get to you after the next caller, my man. Andrew.
Hey.
What's up, man? Thanks for being patient, bro.
Thank you. No, that's good. This is good timing. I want to jump on quick and just say I don't think I think Zach Wilson can be good, but the only way he's going to be good is if he can get past that first read. He doesn't do it. And that's kind of why you see a lot of open guys throughout, is that he kind of stares down his main route that he wants a little too long, and then he goes to a hot route or a tight end right after. And that's why Corey Davis is the guy who got all the targets early. Then he goes down. Now Garrett Wilson's getting involved. And when you look at what the Patriots did versus them, they just took away that first read in a lot of ways. They put a lot of pressure on that first read, and he crumbled in both games. And he does it in every game, the ones that he plays well or bad. When he goes to face the Bears, he'll do good, because when he has games against bad defenses, he does good because they get open. The first read gets open in time because our guys are really skilled. And so that's why I'm not sure, if he can't figure that out next game, that's what I'm looking for. Not as much like the yardage and things like that, but if he can look through his progressions and hit guys, he could start winning games because he has all that talent. But I'm not sure he can. I need him to do that, but I also need him to apologize to his teammates after that presser. I think that's a number one. If he doesn't do that, I think, I don't know. Yes, but when we look at I don't know. To me, when you look at Mike White, he does not have the athletic skills of Zach Wilson. He might not be as good as Zach Wilson in terms of ceiling. But when you look at his games, even the Bills games, he went through his progressions. He just got outplayed by the defense in that game, and he hits him. And if you think about who he had then, it was Moore and it was Carter really on the field. That was it. Now there's a lot of weapons on the field. So this team, with the defense they have, they just need someone to get the ball to these guys, because Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, Denzel Mims, and Corey Davis all are great yak guys. Uzoma is a good yak guy. Conklin not as much, but he gets a lot of yards on his routes. He's a good route runner. So you have a lot of weapons that if you just get the passes out, it works. And the big knock on Mike White is the turnovers, which is true. That can happen. And he will throw picks. That's going to happen. But the other thing is his arm strength. And that's silly because if you watch the film, he can throw deep. He can't throw like Zach Wilson. I don't think many can. but he can throw good enough to run an offense. And that's why I'm not sure, like, against the Patriots specifically, they did it well. And I don't think every team's going to do it well. I think Wilson's going to be fine next game. And I think he's going to be fine a couple games as we go because he's going to do his first read. They're going to get open. He's going to hit him. But if that's all he does, then we can't face a good defense on the way to the Super Bowl if we make it to the playoffs. We can't face like the Titans, for example, because we'll lose. And that's kind of what it comes down to is we can face teams that have poor defenses who can't cover. Probably beat the Chiefs for crying out loud. But we can't beat teams with like a decent defense. And that's if he can't, I don't know how they work on that. I don't know if he can figure it out, but I feel like that's the age-old thing with a lot of these quarterbacks. I feel like Darnold was like this, and I feel like Sanchez was especially like this. It was like a one-read kind of thing. He had trouble spreading the ball around, and I don't know. I know it's all negative. That's what happens when.
Oh, dude, dude. Let it all out. This is therapy. This is for you guys to come on here and just let it all out because I have a platform that I created to help fans like you to let it all out, man. So I'm happy that you got it off your chest. You deserve it. And listen, there's no reason to be positive in this moment. There are some things to be excited about for the future with this defense. And I don't want Jets fans to lose faith because we are 6-4. And if I told you at the beginning of the season, we were 6-4, everyone would sign up. But when we're living in the moment and we see what happened yesterday, there's a lot of reasons to be pissed off. So Andrew, I appreciate your call. I appreciate you letting it all out. And anything else you'd like to say, man?
One last thing real quick.
Yeah, of course.
I think the other thing we're not thinking about is our cap space issue going past next year. So like we have enough money to re-sign Quinnen, but I don't know if we have enough money as it is now to get all our pieces back to get Quinnen and to sign a guy like Garoppolo. That's a lot of money. Those guys you have to outbid and you overpay for like mediocre quarterbacks, which is why I think the sooner they figure out if Zach isn't the guy, they got to figure out soon, because if they could figure out that Mike White could be a system quarterback, somebody who could just move it around, then you don't spend the money on Garoppolo and you just put Mike White in there. But if he can't be Garoppolo, then you do have to spend the money. But that comes at the expense of the defense eventually. You can't pay everybody, and then you slowly your window closes. It's not it's this window here. If Wilson's the guy, the window's huge. But,
yeah. I know you're 100% right, and I'm sure the Jets front office is thinking of all these possibilities because cap space. And the one thing about Douglas that I love is he's not a short-term thinker; he's thinking long-term. So I'm hoping that he has all those scenarios and algorithms mapped out with his team. So Andrew, I appreciate the call, my man. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and all the support means a lot, my man.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. All right, Andrew, that was a great call. I see everybody in the chat waiting to hop on. Guys, hit that like button on your way in. We appreciate everybody. This has been a great show, man. I love hearing from all of you guys. So again, thank you for everybody being patient. I see you guys all backstage. We're gonna get to everybody soon. Charles, hey man.
Hey Richie, how you doing, buddy?
I've been better, but life is great outside of the Jets.
I was cursing my lungs out when that punt return happened. My mother was like, "Charles, calm down. They still got time." I'm like, "Ma, it's 5 seconds." Like, what the hell are the Jets gonna do in 5 seconds?
Yeah, man.
My mother, I love her to death, but she drives me nuts, and she doesn't understand what the hell goes on in football sometimes. So that was a really, I was absolutely, obviously the criticism does go to Zach, but offensive line was crap. The receivers were terrible. The running backs were terrible. LaFleur was terrible. The entire offensive unit was terrible on yesterday.
No, absolutely. And that was my first tweet I made after the game. Zach Wilson was awful. Offensive line was awful. LaFleur was awful. Running game was awful, right? It's more just the quarterback at fault here. And obviously he is the biggest reason that's at fault because when you're the quarterback of an offense that's struggling, you're the one to be blamed. But there are a lot of other issues on that offense yesterday. And it's simple, man. When we are an offense that cannot run the ball, we are unfortunately limited, especially against a Patriots team that knows exactly how to exploit our weaknesses.
And man, let me tell you something, man. That boy Matthew Judon can play. He's a beast.
Oh my God, absolutely. The stunts that they were running, our offensive line had no chance at all. Dan Feeney out there. Like, we can praise the job that the offensive line has done up until this point, but it gets to a point where how much can we put faith into this offensive line that's filled with backups on that right side, bro? It's Cedric Ogbuye, Dan Feeney down. I mean, it's like, it really is unfortunate, man, with the injuries. But at the end of the day, you can't use that as an excuse. Next man up mentality.
I know. I was having a pretty good weekend. I don't know if I told you this. I live in New Jersey. My local DSW Shoes in Island had like a Thanksgiving feast, so I had some deep fried turkey.
Nice. Delicious. Getting ready for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, baby. I love that.
Yeah, the Patriots play the Vikings at Minnesota on Thanksgiving. Did you see the Cowboys? They destroyed Minnesota.
I know. I saw that. And you know the thing I'm thinking of? Like, oh, the Jets are playing in Minnesota. Let's see a 40-3 dominance, Jets.
Oh,
Is that
come
too much
on
to
now.
ask? God damn it. Like, come on. Why can't we do that? Oh, my gosh, Charles. It feels – listen, this is a difficult time, especially – for me as a content creator.
I mean, if you think about it, it's not like last place where everyone else is good except for the Jets. Everyone in that division is doing really well. And surprisingly enough, if you look at the NFC, they're the best. They're the best division in that conference.
Yeah, the East
Everyone
is
has
dominant.
over
We're versing that
500.
division next year, so it's going to be a battle of the East next year, and I'm excited, man. And at the end of the day, the Jets have until next year to beat the Patriots if we don't face off for them in the playoffs. Which
I'm sick and tired of losing to that more of those motherfuckers. I'm sick and tired.
Don't even get me started with my hate with the Patriots. It runs so freaking deep, Charles. You have no idea. Well,
I hate those guys too, but you gotta admit they have some good players.
Yeah, and more importantly, their scheme and Bill Belichick, they know exactly how to beat us, and it makes me sick to my stomach. And Charles, I appreciate the call. I'm going to try to speed through these since there's a lot of people waiting.
Oh, don't worry about my friend. I just woke up late, so have a good day, my friend.
Charles, I appreciate the call as always. You're a great member of the channel, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, my man.
You too, my man. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Charles. You too. Great member there. All right, guys, we're getting through these. Jets fans in the house.
Yo, what's good, Richie?
What's good, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Well, I got a couple of takes for you, my man.
Yeah, let's hear it.
How you not gonna see them some memes wide open for 7 points? We could easily beat the Patriots that game.
You talking about that play when Mims was open over the middle?
Oh, I couldn't sleep last night.
Yeah,
seeing that play all over again.
That play. Listen, if you break down that play, he's talking about the Jets when the only time they had 3 points when they're in in Patriots territory. There was a play where Zach Wilson drops back and Denzel Mims escapes through the zone and he's wide open over the middle. He even puts his hand up and he's open in the end zone. And Zach Wilson is looking right at him. And then there's someone that comes off his blind side. And instead of Zach Wilson letting him rip, which he had the time to do it, he decides to, you know what, I'm just going to eat this and scramble for 5 yards. So that was frustrating because we were very critical with Zach that you like to see him be mobile, like to see him pick up positive yards with his legs, but not at an expense of a wide open Denzel Mims for a touchdown. That can't happen. It's inexcusable.
A lot of people been saying, it's Mike LaFleur's fault. It's his fault. It's not his fault. It's like the quarterback issue.
I agree, and I think there's 2 sides to it. I mean, in my opinion, you're blaming LaFleur, you're blaming Zach Wilson, but you also have to realize LaFleur looks bad when Zach looks bad. And I think that's a lot of things that people need to realize where LaFleur is calling a play, and if the play is not executed properly, then it's not going to work. And there's still some faults to LaFleur's play calling that I will break down for sure throughout the week. But there's some times where, for example, on 3rd and 1 in the 4th quarter, Elijah Moore's wide open for a first down. Instead, Zach Wilson doesn't throw him the ball for whatever reason and checks it down to Carter, which is like a bad even decision, and Carter gets tackled for a loss. So I think they're both at fault, man.
A lot of things that I saw in the game, it pissing me off.
Pissing me off too.
Nah. That's the only things I'm gonna say. See you next time. Thank you.
All right, Jets fan. I appreciate the call, my man. Have a good rest of your day, and let's go Jets, all right?
You too. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, my man. He brings up some good points. So we're going from Jets fan to the next caller who is sad Jets fan. Oh, man. I'm sad too.
Hey, man, it's depressing. This is a sad day. This is a sad week, man.
It is.
So I just scribbled down a few things here, dude, about yesterday's game. And
let's hear it.
so Mike LaFleur, awful, at least in my opinion. Where's the reverses, trick plays we've seen before? We did nothing to try to get this game going. Like, we didn't dig in the bag for nothing. Like, it was just plain Jane bad. Zach Wilson, 77 yards. He's overthrowing everybody. He's putting balls in the dirt. What's he good at? Why don't we do what he's good at? You know, if I don't know what it is, I ain't seen it yet, but what is he good at, and why aren't we doing that?
Yeah,
bad
I agree.
situational football. Sorry, I'm just rushing through them because I know you're in a hurry.
No, go for it.
Bad situational football. Yesterday, there's like a minute and a half left, or 2 minutes roughly, and we're trying to go down the field to, I'm thinking, score, get a field goal, something, try to win this game. And we let the clock run all the way down to like, we let it run down the first time, didn't call timeout, so we wasted like 40 seconds. And then we did it again the second time, and then we ended up calling timeout at the end of the play clock. So we wasted like a whole minute there to even try. And if we do get the first down with 30 seconds left, what are we going to do? What's that? It keeps us from losing the game on the punt, but where are we going and what are we doing with that?
We did lose the game on the punt.
But I mean, even if we get the first, it's like,
yeah, I think their mindset with that was they're like, all right, even if, because they lost all their faith in their offense, they're like, okay, even if we don't get this first down, we want to make sure the Patriots don't have enough time to come down and score a field goal to win the game. And it failed because they couldn't even defend a punt. So either way, it's a moot point, but I know you're coming from.
Let's see. The running back rotation. What was that? Where's Michael Carter? Where's Michael Carter?
Yeah, I don't understand. I saw Ty Johnson way too many times for my liking.
Oh,
on third down.
It was bad. It was so bad. The fumble, the Patriots dropped. He just drops it. Gift from the gods. And it seems like we have two Jets there that are not inspired to get the ball. The Patriots player is further away than the Jets player, turns around and recovers his own damn ball.
The one thing about this defense I'll never understand, I'm going to praise them because they're elite, but they do not know how to recover a damn fumble. They just don't. I don't know if we have a fumble recovery this year.
I don't know what it is. I mean, he dropped right in front of you, and it's like I'm thinking their will to get this ball and want to get the ball is going to be so much they're going to die for this damn thing.
Yeah, DJ Reed's right there. Right there.
It's not – you would think it's right there. And then my last thing I'm going to say is you can tell why Mims is a fifth receiver, sixth receiver. He's a good player, man, and he can make a catch, but the mental errors and the drops and the false starts
so
and the
deflating, man. And that was early in the game, and that was a good throw from Zach. And I'm like, come on. Like, Zach is in a hostile environment. You got to help him out. He makes a great throw, and it hits you right in the hands. Right there, I'm like, it's so hard to keep defending Mims. When you get the opportunity, when Corey Davis is hurt, and you cannot make a simple catch, that would have changed the game, in my opinion. That's a first down. You never know. Zach could have got some confidence. They could have got 3 points on the board. You never know.
Don't we miss Corey Davis right now?
Oh,
we talked about him a little bit at the end of the season. Yeah, he's clutch. He's clutch.
Big time, man. And that's what I've been saying. And whenever I defend Corey, there's so many people that attack me. And, like, this is the exact reason why we're missing Corey. And hopefully he's back and healthy this Sunday, man.
Yeah, me too, man. Hey, man, like I said, go Jets. That was depressing. I can't wait to beat the Patriots eventually. And like I said, I appreciate everything. I appreciate your guys' content too, man. It gives me something to watch during the week.
Hey, I appreciate that. The support means a lot. Thank you so much, bro. Hopefully you come on next Monday when we're celebrating Victory Monday.
I'm going to start coming on more often. I didn't know how to join these channels before, but now that I know how, I'm going to start coming on more often. You'll see Sad Jets fan in here weekly.
Awesome. Every Monday I have a call-in show, so you know who to join in, and hopefully that'll be changed to Happy Jets fan on Monday when we win.
Well, if we make the playoffs, I'll be a Happy Jets fan.
Leave it sad if we make the playoffs. I don't blame you. But, all right, man. Have a good rest of your day. All right. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. See you, Richie. Thanks a lot, buddy.
No problem, man. All right. Here we go. Nick, thank you so much for being patient, my friend. How you doing, man?
Richie, how's it going, man? Thank you for the platform. Thank you for all your hard work. You guys with these channels certainly make the season a lot more enjoyable. And
thank you.
I understand the narrative that this group of players, when they say same old Jets, or they weren't here when all of this losing was going on. I can understand that, and I can understand the method behind that. But no matter what, when we play these Patriots, there's always some sort of coaching error. It seems as though we're not ready. It seems as though there's a moment in the game where we're just left shaking our head, or multiple moments in the game. Why are you even punting the ball inbounds is beyond me with that kind of time left on the clock. piggyback off the last caller when he says that, the time management, the last drive, it's like we were kind of playing for overtime. If there was a play there, we were going to take it. But I've seen enough football in this league to know the most concerning thing about Zach Wilson is the attitude. And his attitude is the Ryan Leaf attitude, the Jay Cutler type attitude. There's no, he made the comment last week of, I'm still convinced that nobody outside of this business or outside of the building has any idea what they're talking about. You're not talking just about reporters or media. You're talking about the fans. You're talking about people like yourself, people like myself, that invest weekly in this team and have been on a heck of a train ride or roller coaster ride. So there's a lot of different things to take from that game yesterday, but he's just, and you wonder what it is. I mean, for me, it's the attitude, and I think everything spawns off of the attitude, but I just don't understand what you're doing. He rushes, he overreacts. I remember the first game we played against the Patriots, they kind of did that shot up in the box where, they showed LaFleur and his crew up there. And you could read LaFleur's lips when he said to Zach, he's like, you got to stop immediately overreacting is what he said to him. And, I don't think he cares. And that's terrible. Like, to me, that's just terrible. I'm a Strevler fan. I know a lot of people are like, it was preseason. The kid's got something. I know Mike White's next in line, but Strevler's just got this. He's got the attitude, I feel like, of what it takes to be a quarterback.
This guy agrees with you.
Yeah, he's not going to get a shot. You know what I mean? He's just not going to. But I think Saleh at least has to put him on notice this week and give White some reps with the ones and just be like, look, you're our guy moving forward. I think you guys have been touching on it here the last hour. You're our guy moving forward, but we got to make some moves. Fitzy came in for Tua a couple times last year. That's paying dividends now. The Breece Hall injury just exposes Zach for what he is, either not an NFL quarterback or not at the level to be a starting NFL quarterback. So, I hope we're having a different conversation next week. That coin flip guy, I'd like to find him somewhere because I think this guy, he's either got great luck or what. But, I just hope next week the narrative's not we should have drafted Justin Fields because, the game seems to be slowing down for him. And I know the Bears don't necessarily have the personnel, but we can't put up points. And unless we can put up points, we're not going to make a difference in this league right now. And, I couldn't tell you the last time our defense let up 3 points and we lost a game. I mean, that's a shocker. So, but anyway, man, 100%. Thank you for the time.
Absolutely, Nick.
Enjoy your channel. Have a very happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
You too, Nick. I appreciate the support on Jets Media, and I appreciate all the knowledge you just brought to us, my man. Really
Always,
goes a long way.
Always. Take care now.
Thank you, Nick. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
NY Jets fan forever says, sit Zach and give Strevler a chance. He's echoing what Nick had to say, the big Chris Strevler fan. Appreciate the $5 donation, my friend. All right, guys, we're in the back half of the stream here. We're going to get to these couple final callers.
Oh,
Naft.
What's up, man?
Naft is back. What's up, man? How you feeling?
What's up, man? I'm first time I gotta apologize, man. I haven't been on for the past few weeks.
It's okay.
I started college like a month ago, so I've been occupied with homework and all that stuff.
Yeah, I know how that goes. Don't worry about it.
Man, I've been waiting to come on. I got it. I'm scrolling down all these comments and of these watchers on your stream, and everyone's saying, yeah, let's go, put in Mike White, Sid Zach, put in I don't even know, Flacco, Strevler. Enough with this crap. Enough. Dude, if Mike White would have, continued his Bengals performance from last year at putting up, 30, 40 points a game, then he would be the starter. But the fact that I forgot who we played against last year when he had a terrible game. Buffalo. When he was trash, okay, that's the reason why he's not starting right now. If Flacco would have put up 30, 40 points in his first 4 starts, then maybe he would, maybe we would be somewhere else. But But the fact is that they didn't. And I don't think it's smart right now to, sit Zach just because that I feel, I'm pissed off. Last night was, disgusting. Like there's like, come on, like you can't beat Buffalo and then not put up more than 3 points against an okay Patriots team. Like that, like there's no excuse for that. Like that's number one. The other thing is that, what was I gonna say? Is that these next hopefully again, what you've been saying this like since the beginning of the season, that no one every week you say that no one expected us to be 6-4 right now. No one expects us to go to the Super Bowl. We don't. I don't. We're the youngest team in the NFL. No, am I right? We're the youngest team. One of the youngest teams. I'm not expecting to win it all. Now, the thing is that I feel that it's smart to start Zach right now for the rest of the season, just to see what is it worth it for us to keep him for year 3? Is it worth it to swap quarterbacks? Is it maybe I don't know. Is it if Zach I don't know what's gonna happen, but if Zach goes winless now, not winless, maybe he'll win a few games because the defense is like showing up. But if he can't provide, and to be a New York quarterback, you need to be consistent. That's what I wanted to say. You need consistency in this league. You need to be consistent. If you're not consistent, then you got no place in the NFL. Like you got maybe you can go somewhere else, but this is New York, and the eyes are on you, and it's a test. And I feel that if Zach doesn't show up by the end of the season, if we don't see any spark from him, or he keeps with this inconsistency things, then there's a question: do we swap? Do we trade? Or I don't know. Maybe the answer is even trading for swapping him for. I'm just like dropping a name here, Trey Lance. Let's say, I don't know, but then there comes a worry, is that what if that does happen? In a theoretical world that happens, and Trey Lance comes to us, he is even worse. But then Zach switches Garoppolo, and Zach turns out to be the Tom Brady of the next 20, 25 years. You understand? That also might be a thing.
I understand what you're getting at. I totally understand what you're getting at. And Jets fans, a lot of people want to bench for this game. A lot of people want to ride him out. The reality is, I'm just going to back whatever this coaching staff believes in. And as of right now, they're backing up Zach Wilson. So that's why I'm backing up Zach Wilson.
Just let him see. If you bench him, you won't see anything. And then you won't know. You won't know what to expect. Like, you're going to keep him for year 3, and then year 3's going to be the same. And then, bench him.
Exactly. And that's my point is, too. Like, you need to know what you have in Zach before we go into next year. Because next year, even before this season, like, my mindset was, all right, this year is going to be about hopefully improvements, hopefully proving that we're a young upcoming team and win a lot of games and be on the map. And then the next year was go for the division.
Exactly.
But we need, like, the talent next year is going to be even better, because Sauce is going to have another year of development. All the young players have another year. But we need to know if Zach Wilson is a guy that we feel comfortable with going to year number 3, and we're not going to know that unless we ride it out with him.
Unless we start him, exactly.
And listen, if he goes out there against the Chicago Bears and he stinks it up, then yes, this is another conversation to have. I'm just not that quick to pull the plug. But at the end of the day, Zach Wilson has proved one thing: he will never beat the Patriots. I don't know. It's just
that's for sure.
He'll never.
Dude, no. As long as Bill Belichick's there, I don't see a way that we're ever win that team, beat that team. There's no way.
Listen, man,
unless Wilson, a Tom Brady rookie comes out of nowhere and starts blowing up everyone. But
Zach Wilson's playing utterly trash right now, and there's no excuses for that. There's nothing that he shows right now that's giving me confidence that he can, be the franchise guy. But what the coaching staff is doing is believing in him and instilling confidence in him and trying to work through his kinks and bruises. And
I also think one of the worst things that could happen, then I'll end here, but one of the worst things that can happen is that instead, let's say you do have to move on from Zach Wilson and you say, okay, let's draft. I would put the drafting as the last option, just because you're starting again from the beginning. Even though we have a team, we have a defense, we have with we're a complete team with people with the guys coming back from injuries, AVT, Brees, Brees Hall, Mackay. Hopefully he stays. I don't know what's up with that guy, but we have a complete team. We just need the quarterback. So once
And
we have
the
a solid
unfortunate thing is the
quarterback,
best case scenario is Zach becomes a franchise guy, because
exactly,
that's what's going to help this team financially
exactly,
and like Super
for
Bowl
sure.
contention. We all want Zach Wilson to be the
And I'm
franchise guy.
talking for
Unfortunately,
all
he's not
Jets
proven it.
fans, and yeah, I'm talking for all Jets fans. I'm assuming for you that like the Jets haven't like I've had enough, of the switching and all that, and switching quarterbacks every year or 2 or 3, like enough. Like I want a quarterback for 20 years, man.
I
I
know we
want to
all
come
do,
like
and
I'm done. I'm done with this
we
garbage, man.
want Zach to be the guy, but right now he's just not proving it, and he's got a
For
lot of
sure.
things to work out with. So Naft, I appreciate the
So
support as
yeah,
always, my friend, and
yeah,
hopefully I
man.
see you next Monday and we're a little
Yeah,
happier.
hopefully, man. Let's see. Yeah, we'll talk.
All right, Naft, have a good rest of your day, my man.
You too, man.
Peace out. All right, guys, listen, I understand where everyone's coming from, and I'm just pissed off. That's really it. I'm just pissed off, right? Murph, he's back.
What's up, dude? Yeah, I know. I missed you. I missed you earlier. I wasn't by my
It's all
phone.
good, man.
Missed the call, but how's it going, man? I mean, obviously, you just mentioned not too well, right?
I've been better, bro, but it is what it is, right? Life's
Yeah.
good. How about you, Murph?
That's it's disappointing, but I think everyone's obviously pissed off about the performance from Zach. I think it was definitely that, but the thing that was obviously more disappointing was the post-game press conference answers,
100%.
which is funny because I thought for the most part, I think Zach's been decent. Like I haven't really had many problems with any of his pressers prior to yesterday, but
Too.
I mean, not taking accountability there definitely just a bad look for him, and I think it sends a bad message to the locker room, which these guys are adults, they're professionals. I don't know how bad it's really going to affect them, but it's definitely not what you like to see, and that was disappointing.
100%.
But I think what's most disappointing about his performance, though, is that it came after, 1, the bye week, and 2, the Bills game, which I was at. It was my first NFL game or whatever, and I was surprised that he played that good against a defense that was that talented and performing at a very high level. And my concern is, do you think there's like anything that we should be concerned about as far as like the quarterback room, just like with the coaching and everything there with our quarterbacks coach? Because I mean, his footwork looks very, very shoddy. It's hasn't been very good.
It's inconsistent because it's crazy, and I don't want to be the guy that brings us back, but against the Bills game, I was very impressed with Zach's performance, like very impressed. And then he goes out there, and that just brings up the trait of inconsistency. He looks good, and he looks trash. And if you're not consistent in this league as an NFL quarterback, you're not going to be able to be the franchise guy.
Exactly, and it's just weird to me that it is this inconsistent. And you take a big step forward with the Bills, and then immediately ultimate regression the very next game, right? And I feel like if you have, obviously it starts with Zach, right? He's the one that is going to have to shoulder all this, but I think that it's just concerning to me that we aren't seeing like the consistent improvement as far as that goes, like footwork, accuracy, I mean, the all 22 from this game was just awful to watch.
Not excited to break that down.
Yeah, terrible. I'll be there, but it's going to be rough, man. But I mean, it's super concerning. And I feel like all this kind of happened when Greg Knapp, sadly passed away and everything. But I feel like ever since then, we've just kind of had this situation where it starts with Zach in his head and everything like that. But I just feel like he maybe, I don't know, do we need to like get a new voice in there? Or I don't know if you.
No, yeah. I mean, when you look at the fundamentals, that's a big issue. The footwork, the pocket awareness, those things that you feel like he should be able to be progressing in. Because my biggest thing about Zach is it's all about his mentality of being able to scan the field. And you can't go through your reads if your feet and your hips and your shoulders and your head are not in sync. And it doesn't feel like that's in sync. And that could be a coaching issue, or that can just be Zach Wilson not understanding the coaching, right? There's a lot of things to dissect. And as of right now, Zach Wilson is he's not showing any traits that gives Jets fans any sort of optimism of like he could be the franchise guy to bring us to a Super Bowl. Because guess what? That's why we're here. That's why we're Jets fans. We want to win a Super Bowl. I know that's so far-fetched, but that's why we watch sports. It's about championships. We have to make some steps and strides before we get to that magnitude. But right now, Zach Wilson's not proven to be a reason why we can win. And as good as our defense is and special teams has been outside of that, punt return issue, we're a quarterback away. And this fan base has grown tired of it. And I hear them, and I don't blame them. And it's going to be an uphill battle from here on out. And Zach has a lot of work to do, not only on the field, but off the field to fix what he said in the presser, because that really rubbed me the wrong way, bro. And same with you. And I don't know how he's going to be able to come back from that, but he needs to go first to his own teammates and coaching staff and apologize. He does not have to say anything publicly to us. That has to be an internally thing that needs to get worked out.
For sure. Yeah, I agree 100%. And then as far as everyone, everyone's obviously upset. So we're all immediately jumping to that. Oh, it's Mike White time, baby. Or, maybe we go back to Flacco or, Strevler, that's something. But I don't think we're there yet. I mean, obviously everyone's mentioned Mike White came out against Buffalo, didn't play well. And I think it's just, it's a tough situation where it's like, what are we really going to do? We kind of have to ride it out with Zach for these 7 games. But also at the same time, it's like if Zach plays another, stinker against the Bears next week, what does that kind of send a bad message to the locker room if we just keep him in? Like, oh, yeah, the rest of you guys, defense, you're playing phenomenal. Special teams playing super well. Rest of the offense playing solid. But, quarterback plays bad. We're not going to do anything about it. Does that kind of send a poor message to that locker room in that situation?
And that's where the big conversation needs to have, because it's obvious the defense is frustrated with the offense because they're playing like they can carry this team to a Super Bowl, and all we fucking needed is 6 points to win that game, and we couldn't even get 6. Couldn't even get 2 field goals. So that is definitely a conversation to have, where if Zach Wilson goes out there and puts a stinker up against the Chicago Bears, then that's where that thing needs to be talked about, simply because is Saleh going to lose the locker room? Because the defense is like, we're putting our heart and souls out there. We're playing like top-notch football, and we're still losing. Like, what more do you want from us? Like, what more do you want from us as a defense to win? You want us to get pick sixes at this point? You want us to become a scoring defense? You can't put all that pressure on the defense, man. And that's definitely a reasonable conversation to have that we'll be talking about all the way up until Sunday. So, Murph, I appreciate the call. Hope to see you again soon, man. You're a great caller on the show. And let's go Jets, right? What else are you going to say?
Yes, man. Thanks for the call, Richie.
Always, Murph. Appreciate you. All right, guys. So we appreciate all the calls on this 2+ hour live stream, man. Listen, all the opinions in the chat and all the opinions here on the show was great. And if you guys are on here and you disagree with what I'm saying, listen, it's okay. That's what talk show is all about. If I was sitting here and everybody agreed with me, that's like basically impossible because everyone has their own opinions. But I hear everyone's opinions. I try to be as neutral as I can. I try to, hold myself accountable as well. I know I had some takes early on in the season that, today, doesn't really look as good. And I hold myself accountable. And I hope that this fan base is a fan base that sticks with this team, bro, because we're getting through the season, man. We're 6-4. And this defense is playing next level, and just don't jump ship, man. Just don't give up on the squad yet. There's still a lot of things that is a positive outlook on this squad. Sauce Gardner, Quinnen, you guys do not need me to break down the positives on this team. But at the end of the day, I love you guys. I appreciate all the support through the thick and thin, through the losing, through the winning. It's all love. All love from here. Without you guys, none of this is possible. And it just feels good. It just feels good. And I'm excited to be able to continue to go live with you guys and continuously break down the Jets. Tomorrow, I'll be breaking down the film. Won't be fun, that's for sure. Be fun on the defense, but when it comes to the offense, I'll be roasting Zach. That's for sure. I mean, based on the film, I'll be roasting him. Everything on that front. But everybody, seriously, I love you guys. I try to be as realistically optimistic as possible. I'm not someone that sits here in a delusional fantasy. Right. I try to speak as it is. I try to speak with facts and speak with statistics and speaks with everything. But you guys are awesome, and expect the film breakdown tomorrow sometime in the morning. Omar asked what time. Not sure the time yet, Omar, but I'm going to schedule it. So you'll know when to expect it. Sometime early, like usually I go live between like 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. range. I like to go live around around that time frame. So definitely look out for that. I also have to wait until the all 22 becomes available. So that's another factor to keep into consideration. So guys, I appreciate all the support, appreciate all the love. All the people that disagree with me, it's okay. I still respect your opinion. It's not like I hate you guys. It's not the fact at all. So hit that like button, guys. Let's get to 200 likes, and comment down below your thoughts after the stream is wrapped up of the current state of the Jets. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out, everybody. All love.